26. I am your host, Naroki5. It's just me and Rearson tonight. He just keeps getting sucked in here because it's just, well, let's just say, Justin Trudeau and or the Liberals just can't stop effing the hell up. Just a quick note to everybody here tonight. This particular show is being brought to you by the newest electronic vehicle out there that's going to take Musk and turn it into his little bitch. The Fagwar 6969 2025 edition. That's right. It runs. It can be powered up by the Donald Trump Spurg engine. It comes in hot pink, powder blue, and 69 shades of brown. Ladies, it comes with a vibrational attachment, and it, of course, is completely lubricated and greased up, all of the parts, with Orange Man Bad Hand Balm. That's right, Orange Man Bad Hand Balm for the person.
Oh, we're going to be
for the person that just can't stop obsessing with Donald Trump. And yeah, I've seen a few of them. I should maybe have Elon Musk hand balm as well, but we haven't quite gotten there yet. But yes, that's right. Orange Man Bad Hand Balm. All right. That takes care of the commercial sponsors.
That's coming out when the Medicaid is uncovered, because they're going to fucking need it, because it's going to fucking hurt.
Orange Man Bad. 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 Orange Man
Bad. But you forgot, it comes with the purple poker special attachment.
Oh, yes, the JM Purple Poker. That's right. In response to the Manosphere's biggest goddamn hypocrite out there, Jack Murphy. That's right, the JM Purple Poker, because nothing says I'm a man's man by letting his wife get fucked by multiple different guys and proudly putting it up online for everybody to see about how proud he was, and then of course posting photos of him getting caught.
The JMPP BBC
getting
which is probably the case. Oh, come on, Jack, just come on. Oh, my bad.
Oh my God. So yeah, that's it. So Rearson, introduce yourself. We're off to a great start tonight. If we were on Rumble, we would have already lost our monetization. So
I wasn't quite shooting for demonetization already right off the bat, but I guess maybe it's a good thing that he's not on right now, because we'll leave that alone.
Well, once you finish introducing yourself, I have a special message for V and the love of his life. The hell's in there? That oh my God! She's that black singer.
What,
not
Lizzo?
Lizzo. Yes, Lizzo. I have to say something in Lizzo's defense.
Well, that's only because she's the last line of defense, because nothing was getting through that. Oh, except maybe V, only because he likes him big and likes the butterballs. Anyway,
I
honestly, I don't really have much more to say. For the people that know us, know who the hell I am, and I'm in one of those fucking moods tonight. So
yeah, I'm in the mood tonight too. I'm not gonna go into all the details, but it's been I'll tell it to you at the end of the show after we're off the air.
All right, do your thing then. Do your thing.
The 2 week, but yes, I wish to say some special words about Lizzo. She's being unfairly and maliciously maligned. She does actually contribute a lot to every community that she goes to, like the extra food that has to be delivered to the stadium whenever she arrives in town.
She has to exert her singularity of gravity. I mean,
they have to bring in scientists to make sure that her new center of gravity doesn't throw the planet off course. The armed guards that have to be employed at every all-you-can-eat buffet in town.
and where the Chinese buffets shut down while she's around.
Yep. The people, the carpenters, the engineers, whatever, that have to reinforce the stage and the hotel that she's staying in, because she's always at the top, and every time she moves around, the hotel might actually tip over. And of course, there's the guy who has to walk around in front of her with the whale mating sounds. It's like, it's like, and it's a different guy in every city. So yeah, Lizzo actually does contribute a lot to the community.
You mean where she's got more chins than Chinatown, to quote Weird Al?
Yeah, and I'm sure she won't respond to any of this and won't take it any personally, because she's bigger than that. I mean, much, 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 much bigger than that. In a literal physical sense, but enough. And so I will no longer mock V for his strange,
Preference?
bizarre preference for Lizzo. No,
Hey.
it won't happen. Just leave the large ginger cookies, and maybe she'll get around to you, V.
But hey, remember, all the women just say, "Is Lizzo a 10? Yeah, and you're a 10? Yeah. Well, if Lizzo's fat, and the black women don't seem to like that very well."
Yeah, yeah. Oh, sure. Lizzo's a 10. Lizzo's a 10 in
no,
regards to the number of cookies she'll eat before she actually looks at you. Anyway, so let's just get into the topics tonight. Oh yeah, for those of you who don't know, we're at Rumble. We're also at BitChute, although we don't live stream over at BitChute. BitChute, Rumble, Odyssey, MGTOW TV, Brighteon, which is still stuck at 99 subs, by the way. Although, and amazingly enough, I've actually crossed over 50 subs at YouTube.
Wow!
Don't ask me how the hell that happened.
I do shit over there. I don't get it, but hey, whatever.
I'm not doing nothing over there. I just post up my content and just leave it at that. I'm sure the actual one whole person that's actually watching this live stream right now completely agrees with us. That's it for that. That's it for that. The topics tonight, and we have 7 of them. Topic number 1: The View is getting canceled. Yeah, that one's gonna be that one's gonna be a big sell. That's gonna be a big celebration. Unfortunately, Roger's not here to give us his piece, unfortunately, so that's too bad for him. Topic number.
I was gonna say, Lord knows the women on there aren't getting in peace, but that's
Yep.
Right.
All right, to absolutely nobody's surprise, Captain America: Brave New World is tanking. Yeah, it is. Topic number 3: Things keep getting worse for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Boy, did it ever get worse.
Okay, as I was saying before hitting the record button, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I might have heard it, but
oh man,
that's your baby.
All I'm going to say right now is that if you choose to follow in Amber Heard's footsteps, you're going to end up in the same place as Amber Heard. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, I think I know what's going on, but you're taking the lead on that one. Okay.
Number 4. At topic number 4, Ashley St. Clair is called up for admitting that she had Elon Musk's 13th. I'm desperate. I am desperately trying to hold in my face palm on that one. Topic number 5: Elon Musk takes an axe to FEMA. Yeah, the Ministry of Health, and this one might actually go on for a while, because apparently there's some talk about having Ron Paul, of all people, audit the Fed and the Treasury. Oh man, that is because Ron Paul won't just take an axe in there. He'll take an auto cannon.
Okay, I got a couple of things to say on that one, but when we get there, number 5.
That is number 5. Number 6: indication by an independent journalist in Canada shows that Liberal Party potentially getting kickbacks from Chinese on fentanyl.
and it's a lot. This is the shit that I've already been saying before. I've already been saying this, but anyway, okay. And finally,
And final number 7, AOC is being referred to the Department of Justice for a potential criminal investigation. Well, color me shocked on that one.
didn't we covered that a number of years ago, didn't we?
No, AOC has never been referred to anybody for criminal investigation up until now, but
No,
Tom Homan.
But there was irregular. Was it her or somebody? It was someone from the someone from the
squad.
Broad Squad. Someone from the Broad Squad. No, AOC was. Okay, I think I know what it might be, but we'll wait until we get to that point because we got
write it down so you won't forget. Write it down so you won't forget. So, without any further ado, I am going to switch over to.
Excuse me.
We're gonna let I'm gonna put Rearson up. Well, not Rearson, but I'm gonna put his avatar up for a bit. By the way, please let me know in the chat which one of the I had AI art draw me up 5 new Red Pill Nation logos. I'm not sure if I'm going to go with any of them, but let me know which one works and which one doesn't. I will be posting them up as I go through the show tonight. And we'll start out with number 1, and we'll work our way through. And I will let you know as we go along here. But let us get into, and I'm going to have to delete Rearson's logo for this one because I got one photo for each particular topic. Let's get into. Yep, and I'm going to timestamp it. The View. Oh my freaking God.
Yeah. Who the hell is that land whale on the left side?
The land whale on the left side?
Well, I mean, you got the land whale in the middle, trying to keep balance. But just the land whale on the left side?
I don't know. I never watched The View.
Okay.
That must have, because you notice that Kamala Harris is sitting there as well. So
yeah, no,
that could just be a couple of might just be a couple of how would you say? It might be a couple of the producers or the showrunners.
Or it could be someone else that was on the show as well, too.
Yeah, I don't. You can see that's the thing. I don't look at The View for anything. But here's the thing. Whatever am I going to do now?
You spanking it over The View. I'm just going to say that right now.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? I mean, over the past 5 or 6 years, whenever there was a story that came out, there's 3 individuals that you could count on to post up. Actually, 2 consistently would have something massively stupid to say. That would be the Young Turks, and then of course it would be The View. The Young Turks, apparently Shank has figured out where the wind's going and has decided that he no longer wants to smell. He doesn't want to eat. So Shank is kind of like start trying to pull a flip flop. And The View. Well, I mean, I'm going to point something out. The Australian and British versions of The View had also been pulled. They weren't called The View, of course, but they had been pulled from network TV as well. And you got to keep in mind, I think the British version of The View. Keep in mind, I mean the government there is is like, of all the G7 countries, it's got the sole remaining like leftist cultural Marxist government of all actually Canada as well, although Trudeau's not going to be around much longer.
Yeah. Okay, but you're talking Europe, not North America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you could count on The View to come up with the most stunned, stupid, racist, ignorant view. Like their view, it wasn't a view. It was just like a dumb opinion. I mean, I tried finding the Babel. I didn't have time to because I had some issues that prevented me. But I tried to find the Babylon Bee.
The
The
view,
Babylon Bee.
the view is it's the opinion of four ignorant fucking bitches. That's what the view is. Let's call it for what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you would have thought. I mean, like, okay. I mean, I thought there was just some speculation about a decade ago that maybe Whoopi Goldberg may have been purple pilled, but I mean, that turned out to be just a mirage or a rare bout of actual common sense on Whoopi Goldberg's part. I mean, Whoopi Goldberg had been clearly losing the edge as she's been getting older. Maybe her brain isn't working as well as it should be. I don't know, but I mean, yeah, you could count on the View to come up with the most stupid fucking takes on network television, like with consistency. I mean, it was like you had a breaking news event or even a breaking news event. You would go and first thing you would do is you turn into the Young Turks because you knew that Shank Uger, one of the hosts on the Young Turks, was going to may say something massively stupid. Then you knew that the View was also going to do it, and also the other guy who seems to consistently come up with really dumb fuck views on everything is not Destiny Vaush, whom by the way is
He was the
well
pickup artist, right?
no Vaush is a
Oh no, we did talk about him before. It just didn't.
yeah, he actually posted up a screenshot of kitty porn on one of his shows, and we talked about that
Oh, that ginger, right?
bestiality porn. Yeah, that guy.
Idiots.
Yeah, no, really.
Hey, whatever. They eventually tell on themselves.
Yeah, just a really smug. Although apparently with this whole thing with U.S. aid, and we haven't really gotten into it, but I mean, a lot of the fallout with U.S. aid, it's like something is being noticed, and this is something that I mean is not related to what happened with the View, but it's like an odd number of these leftist YouTubers are suddenly much more start to pitch their listeners for cash a lot more than they used to. And Vaush has suddenly stopped being so goddamn smug, right? Which kind of causes me to suspect that there may have been. Well, no, the tentacles for USAID go pretty deep. And I mean, it's going to keep getting worse and worse and worse as this goes on because it's like they're already past $200 billion just wasted. And they're not even, and they barely even scratched the surface. Like, wow.
I'm waiting for the IRS and the Pentagon to get audited. Holy shit.
Oh, the IRS is up on the list. IRS is going to be one of the first places that's going to be up on the list.
Yeah, on the USDebtClock.org, just as a quick side note, the Doge clock is 103 billion and climbing.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. All right, I'm posting up the first Red Pill Nation logo for about a minute here.
Okay.
There we go.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, I like this one.
I like that one too. I don't know what to make of it, but I like it.
Yeah, it was one of the better ones. Anyway, these are all AI
Generated, yeah.
generated, by the way. If you have an idea of something else, if you want to send me a version of your Red Pill Nation photo, then by all means send it to me. I'm talking to my one listener here, or anybody who listens to the stuff afterwards. The big issue here with the View is that I mean, it's very. I mean, I suspect what was going on with the View and what's been going on with a lot of these YouTubers and a lot of this stuff is that people inside the government, like just like how they're just finding out that all this transgender stuff was being astroturfed and artificially inflated. Like a lot of these podcasters and a lot of these shows were probably also being artificially inflated, and it's very clear that things have turned on them. Like they've turned significantly on them, and these shows are actually working against the narrative for them now, so they're just slowly but surely taking them all off the air. And I suspect you're going, like, I mean, the only one of the major uh like leftist podcasters that I can think of, the ones that I know of, because I keep in mind I don't listen to these idiots. The only one of the bunch that I have known that isn't actually in some kind of trouble right now, of the ones that I know, is the Majority Report.
I don't recall that one.
Yeah, no, it's Sam Cedar.
Oh, okay.
We covered him once. He was the guy who not Destiny, the guy who the guy, Steven Crowder, the guy who was going to do with that guy, and he just switched at the last moment, and Ethan Klein. Crowder was going to do an interview with Ethan Klein, and then Ethan Klein switched over, and Sam Cedar jumped in instead. And
yeah, we did cover that way back when. I remember that much.
Yeah. But yeah, every single one of them is in trouble, and I think a lot of these shows were being artificially propped up.
Yeah,
and because a lot of these shows were being artificially propped up, and these agencies have to put their money elsewhere, or they have to hide their money, or they have to justify what they're doing. So it was like what Roger said when the I think it was the CDC, got caught with was revealed that they were spending $100 million to promote transgenderism in Africa. And they got caught, and they weren't being audited yet, but they pulled the program.
Yeah.
Same thing here, which is why certain YouTubers are not suddenly much more concerned about money. And again, as we go along, you're going to start seeing this. You're going to start seeing, I suspect, a lot of these NGOs and a lot of these charities either folding or doubling down and getting really radical. Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna get very interesting as the year goes along. I don't know. Yeah, it is going to be it's going to get way more interesting as the year goes along, because you're going to start seeing this stuff's going to go downhill fast. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Rearson, to have your say.
Well, I mean, really, there hasn't been anything on The View, whatever that may be, that has been really intellectually challenging. I mean, I guess for women it is, but you know me, man. I am the smartest person in the room, typically speaking. And I'm really getting past the point of even bothering to hide it anymore. It is what it is. I am who I am, and well, too fucking bad. Now I know that's not going to bring in the women, and at this point now, that's perfectly fine, because I just don't have fucking time for the minefield of what a woman's mind is, and I don't have the time for the stupid shit that these, as I said, opinionated fucking cunts actually have. The only one that was on there that I would have any remote interest in was Lisa Ling, I think her name was. Let me just look her up. believe that she was on The View. Oh, she was only about 2 years younger than I am. Yeah, I'd still fucking bang her. Not too bad on the eyes. Yeah, she was on The View in '97. Long time ago.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, again, right? There's been a few shows. I mean, for instance, The Young Turks was a show once upon a time that I would view on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have said this on the show. In fact, you probably remember me saying this on the show about him. Like the first thing I ever saw about the Young Turks was Cash for Kids. And
Yeah.
on that particular show, Schenk Uger like sits there and goes like what was this judge thinking? Like he really like, I mean he was like looking at him and going, so was the heated pool and the extra car in your garage worth it after you went to jail? Like after you're going to jail, like was it worth it? Was it worth it ruining all of those lives just so that you could have a heated pool? Right? It's like, yeah, like what a complete sellout. And look at what happened to Shank, right?
Yeah.
And now he's flip flopping to try and get back his reputation. And I'm like, yeah, no, I have, like I said, good riddance.
Yeah.
Keep in mind,
Mm-hmm.
keep in mind, Fox and Friends was accused of being the right wing version of The View. Although I haven't seen Fox, I've never watched Fox and Friends either. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to jump in. Back to you.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, to have an idea. Okay, according to one person that was on The View before, Judge Jeanine Pirro, um, after the show, I think she was basically she left early. There was a break, and apparently Whoopi just lost her shit on her. And according to Pirro, and I don't have any reason to believe her, but I have a reason not to believe her. It's one of those, well, but according to Jeanine Pirro, Whoopi was incredibly aggressive, and once the camera's on, there's the public side of Whoopi, and apparently when the camera's off, no doubt there's a not so nice side to her.
Well, that Ellen DeGeneres was like that as well.
I was just going to say with Ellen DeGenerate, yes, no different as well. So, what I don't like about people in front of the camera is that they need to present a squeaky clean image. And well, Joy Behar to me just seems to be one of those incredibly opinionated. Well, she's not Jewish, but she's Italian. She's the Italian opinion matriarch. Whoopi Goldberg seems to think that she knows it all. Lord knows that she's probably eaten it all. She's ballooned out. Oh my God.
Again, they have to give her an extra strong chair and post armed guards at the all-you-can-eat buffet at the studio lunchroom to make sure she doesn't eat everything.
And there are no all-you-can-eat buffets within a 1 mile radius of the studio where they film and broadcast The View. Yes, I went there. And for emergencies, those that are within a 2 mile radius are on standby to close shop at the drop of a hat. Or when Whoopi says, I'm hungry, because Lord knows with Chinese food, she's going to be hungry within 20 minutes anyway.
Yeah, well, don't worry. She won't retaliate because much like Lizzo, she's bigger than that. Much, much bigger than that.
Yeah, she needs double doors to come into the studio and a forklift if she breaks her ankle. Oh, fuck. Anyway, looking at the females that are on there, Sunny Austin's the only one that is remotely attractive. But the way that the way that her cheeks are coming out, her smile looks like it's been plastered on or frozen into place. Thanks, but no thanks. I will If I want to be looking at middle-aged women, I'll be looking at middle-aged women on fucking X Hamster. I got nothing more to say on that because those women have the right. Those women are in the right position, typically on their knees, with their mouth open, and they can't really talk. And with that, I am done.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. I'm going to put up logo number 2 for everybody to look at for the next minute and a half or so before I move on to the next topic here. Let me just go timestamp this.
Yeah.
Let me just go timestamp this one.
That one's not bad. Pardon me, I gotta go kick my son's ass in order. I'll be back.
Okay, well, it's all right. I have to timestamp this anyway, so. Okay, for those of you who don't know, apparently the lead actor for Captain America decided at a convention that Captain America wasn't about America. Again, right? Just an absolutely boneheaded thing to say. Although, I mean, it doesn't put him necessarily in Rachel Zegler's class, but it is pretty close. You knew there again. I mean, everybody saw Avengers Endgame. You knew that the next Captain America was going to be black. There is an actual precedent for that inside Marvel Comics. Although the Falcon was, to my knowledge, the Falcon was always the Falcon in Marvel Comics. The whole issue here, and I have not seen the movie, and I might go see the movie either tomorrow or Tuesday afternoon, depending upon whether I can get my car unstuck or not, is the fact that the whole thing, again, right, if you're going to do something like that, I mean, it's like, I mean, again, right, Twitter and just all of these conventions have done a wonderful job, for instance, of just revealing how stupid a lot of these celebrities actually are. And of course, the reviews on this have clearly shown that, the whole thing was apparently just the script was just written in, and it was like ma diversity, ma message, and it's like, they should have just stopped at Endgame and moved on to something else, because this is like seeing a corpse this is like seeing something that ended, is lying on the ground and is just rotting, and as the stink continues to permeate through the show, through the entire studio, the smell just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And it's like, at some point, by the way, Rusin, are you back yet? Because I can't.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. My bad.
Okay. As it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse for them. And like I say, I don't know what the numbers are. But again, right, apparently it is not doing very well. I'm going to turn this over to Rearson, and I'm actually going to go and try to find the numbers for Captain for this show, while Rearson talks his ass off unnecessarily for a few minutes.
Fuck.
Yeah, I know you're not a Hollywood guy, but yeah, you're going to have to kill some time here.
Well, fuck, it's not even that. It's more along the lines of it being they spent. Anthony Mackie has been, as according to DVD Overlord, Doomcock, whatever you want to call him, Anthony Mackie was basically screaming at one point of just a script, just give me a goddamn fucking script. They wasted, I believe, more funds were wasted on this movie with not necessarily reshoots, but scenes that might make it into, well, what's called scrapbooking. You've got 100 scenes. If you can kind of work it through and massage it, kind of like, like how a woman's brain is just one long fucking string of emotions where everything's tied together. Yeah, I went there, don't care. You can actually make something out of it. And I waited to find out what Critical Drinker would have to say about it. Despair didn't have anything that was flattering about it. Someone we used to work with, not you know who, but Rod Taylor, saw the movie, and he said, "Yeah, it wasn't bad. In fact, what did he? What did he put in here? Give me a quick second here." Well, Captain America: Brave New World was bad. Harrison Ford as Ross was interesting. I said, "That's cool that you enjoyed it." I know I'm not touching any Marvel or DSW, Disney Star Wars, stuff for a very long time. Some of it wasn't bad, but yeah, a lot of it, a lot of it is pretty awful. So, what more? What more needs to be said? I mean, Rod was an interesting character that back in my day when I was working at the Chateau Lake Louise, you know, he really strikes me. And I'm no different as well too. Which might be a little bit more on opposite sides of political opinions, but he strikes me as being that guy in the wheelchair, not the wheelchair, on the rocking chair with the shotgun on his veranda, kind of going, yeah, I don't remember those fucking Vietnamese ever being here before. I gotta watch out for those fuckers, that sort of thing. So it when Doomcock on YouTube gets wind through rumors, and the rumors seem to be consistent of a project to what the Falcon is or what the Falcon turned into, it's no, just fucking no. It's done. It's over. There's nothing there. Like there's a scene from Ghostbusters, the cartoon series, and it's a parody of Star Trek, and Bones is basically scanning everybody, kind of going, "Hey Jim, guess what? We're dead." and that's what this franchise is to me. It is dead. It's done. They were fishing. They were trying to make things work. Apparently, the pre-screening, the screen testing, I don't know exactly what that is. I have an idea, but I don't know exactly what it is. But when the screen testing came through, it was doing miserably. So it was reshoot after reshoot after reshoot, and more shots of this, and just Disney, Marvel. This is what you get for virtue signaling and gaslighting a franchise that should have, honestly, pretty much, like I said before, and Rookie just said already, once you had Endgame, that was it. The game has reached its end. Not to say that there won't be good superhero movies after, but they're going to be fewer and further between. And this ain't one of them. So I don't know what to say at this point. Oh, and again, it doesn't help that Maggie fucking opened his big fucking mouth. Well, I don't think that America really is America for me. And between him, Brie Larson, and Rachel Zegler, will be the reason why that Hollywood, or whoever it's going to be, is going to basically tell the actors of what they can or what they cannot say. Mark my words, that shit's coming back. And with with what we've seen over the last 15 years, I won't say 20, but the last 15 years, these people are feeling more and more emboldened to do what they can in one form or another to piss off the not to intentionally piss off the fan base, but they're doing a pretty good, consistent job of it. So, yeah, whatever. I think that this. I don't know if Mackey's acting career will recover from this. I mean, honestly, I when I think of the likes of Kevin Spacey, I don't want to see his face on screen anymore. I will not, never, I will not be able to watch the original trilogy of Star Wars again because of frickin' Mark Hamill. And Carrie Fisher didn't help. Harrison Ford,
Oh
Harrison Ford,
well,
Harrison Ford's been pretty smart to keep his mouth shut. But those two specifically, fuck them.
well, it wasn't Mark Hamill for me. It was the Acolyte that did it for me. Like I cannot watch, and even the original three shows, I cannot watch
I can't.
those three. I can't watch them now and not have the Acolyte come up, and to a lesser extent Mark Hamill.
Well,
You know,
yeah, with Hamill going off the deep end that he has, and that's something you might want to look into as well too. Is that apparently Luke Skywalker, he loves sucking cock because he's gay. If there wasn't a reason for me not to give a flying fuck about Star Wars anymore, after Hamill posted that up on Blue Sky, where the pedophiles are. Not saying he is, but I wouldn't be surprised. Um,
you
Star
mean
Wars,
pedo Sky? Oh yeah.
yep, pedo Sky. Um, yeah, I'm fucking done. Like pretty much with most of the movies that are out now, I'm done. It will take something that will have to be incredibly interesting, spectacular, and actually well written for me to give consideration in the future to be able to watch either with the M. Hopefully, the MCU will change to the MCU, but the way it's going, it's MCU later because they're fucking gone. And until Baloney Filoni and Darkling Kennedy are gone, I'm not giving Star Wars the time of day anymore. So
Well, I
I
mean,
might have.
apparently the Bad Batch wasn't all that bad, but unfortunately, they've done so much damage.
Well, the way that Filoni has fucked around with the original canon timeline, it's you can't bring in Thrawn, not realistically anyway. Well, I suppose you can, but Bridger has to be gone. Sabine Wren can't be around, and again, I said this before, and I'll say it again. I mean, with Harrison, the woman who played Harrison Dula, I felt fucking nothing looking at her, and you were right. You were absolutely right that Baloney is one of those people that his medium is in animation and it's not in live action because his shit doesn't fucking work. Rosaria Dawson, she's a really good actress. She's just not an action actress. Like her, I can, I know that with Ewan McGregor and the guy that played Maul, the two of them, they had to what they recorded or what was filmed, they actually had to slow it down because they were moving so fucking fast fighting each other. It was just that well choreographed. And again, with the ejaculate and the fight scene between Anakin as a force ghost, whatever, to Hayden Christensen and Rosario Dawson, Hayden had to slow himself down, wait for Rosario to get into position to actually continue with the choreographed fighting. So, everything.
Yeah, to each their own. Yeah, I didn't see it, and I wasn't really interested in seeing it.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it either. But as a breakdown on the scenes, that one still has stuck out. And she should stay with the Defenders on Netflix. That's all I got. That's all I'm going to say. Nothing more. Whatever. There, Disney's going to be taking a hard loss on this one. The only reason why I can see them doing that, if any reason at all, is to help on their corporate taxes. That's it.
Yeah. Well, okay. I read the numbers for Captain America, and yeah, again, we didn't really get into uh a lot of it because again, right, it was just one like today. This week was one of those weeks where I just really didn't. Well, let's just put it to you this way: I was sleeping 12. Oh, somebody already gave us a downvote. Oh, I'll have to
Oh,
give us
really?
an upvote
Fine.
just to balance things out.
Fuck you, whoever you are. Just go fuck yourself with the with the with the Jack Murphy.
Well, I mean, keep a purple poker.
And if I may, I would recommend for you to make sure that you order an oil barrel full of TDS hand bomb lotion, just because you need it. Just because.
Sorry, I will be fair to the guy. I'll say weren't really talking about Captain America all that much.
Well, there's
You
nothing to
know, I
say.
mean the script was phoned in. Again, right? It was they just expected people to go see it because diversity. And oh, by the way, I did run the numbers.
Okay.
Absolute minimal loss that Captain America is looking at right now is $260 million. Not as bad as Strange World, but unfortunately, a lot of that. It might have almost
Will it outperform the Marvels?
if they hadn't done all of the reshoots and everything,
Yeah.
they might have almost been able to get into sort of like respectable territory, but the reshoots is what really did them in. And of course, right, you know, having your lead actor say something massively stupid like Captain America isn't about America is just like
Doesn't help. Let's be
no,
that,
I mean that's Rachel Zegler levels of stupidity. And but just remember, folks, and just before we move on to the next topic here, Rachel Zegler was a step down from Brie Larson. Apparently, Brie Larson has learned her lesson, but just remember, the next one from Rachel Zegler is going to be a step down from Rachel Zegler.
Rachel Segler, who feels that she should be in Star Wars because her initials equate to the first two letters, the first two model designation of the A Wing.
Oh my God!
Oh yeah.
Oh God!
Fuck. I know. I know. I know. Let's put this puppy to bed and bury it because Lord knows it ain't going to be coming back up except to kind of say, well, Captain America, New World Order, or whatever the fuck.
Oh no! Captain America will get a sex change and it'll become Trans America. Captain Trans America.
Well, well, they're not getting any funny from USAID. I'm just saying.
That's right. It's make way not for Captain America, but for Captain Trans America.
Oh my God! Tell me that wasn't like
it's ma'am.
Oh, tell me that wasn't one of the best segues I could have done. Really,
Captain Trans America. Oh yeah.
No, USA.
Oh yeah, with the USA.
No, not quite.
No, not quite. It's just you're doing Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, which reminds me. Let's get into that one. But first of all, though, I will switch over to logo number 3. Again, all AI drawn. Enjoy for the first couple of minutes here. Yeah, this one's not.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I don't know. The spelling's kind of off, but
to say the least, yeah. Repill.
Yeah, the spelling's kind of off on that one, but getting into the let's just get into this one. Oh, this one just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
Okay.
It's like Blake Lively is just sucking everybody down with her. And I'm going to say, because I said this at the start before we started the show,
Yeah.
and I'm going to say it again. Candace Owens clearly told Blake Lively a couple weeks ago to tap the living fuck out.
Yeah.
Yes, she did. She literally said that on her YouTube channel. She said tap the fuck out. And what does she do? She goes, and not only does she, well, first of all, she comes in with a gag order, which fails miserably earlier this week. And well, that's now last week. Then, and you're gonna love this one. Oh my god. Apparently her most recent move at the end of the week was to leak, and I'm saying leak with ditto marks on one side and the other, stuff to TMZ and all of the gossip, all of the report outlets, complaints against Justin Baldoni by other female members of the staff, that hadn't been released. Except, of course, there was just a couple of things wrong with them. One, they were made to Sony and not to the company that was actually responsible for the production of the movie that they were on together. That was problem number one. Okay. Problem number two is that they were heavily redacted, meaning that you had no way of actually checking or confirming any of the information on these reports. And then three, they were written in the same way. Of course, it could have been there was just a lawyer that just kind of like rewrote them afterwards. But they're both written. Both of the complaints were written up in legalese, and also with the redactions, it also prevents anybody from investigating the timelines on these to find out whether they were written at the same time or by the same person,
or whatever the case may be,
or whatever. So it's like instead of smartening the fuck up, and also, and this was not known at the time. The moment Baldoni came out with his website, which, by the way, they tried to shut down, and it didn't work, Blake Lively fled the country.
Now, when you're saying they, I'm assuming you're talking about the, quote, power couple?
No. So far, just Blake Lively. Apparently, Ryan Reynolds is still in L.A. Here's the problem. It's gotten so bad for Ryan Reynolds now that it is very strongly looking, because what Blake Lively was doing with Baldoni's movie was the same thing that Ryan Reynolds was attempting with what Ryan Reynolds did with the Deadpool series. And of course, there's just a couple of differences. One, Ryan Reynolds was actually was an actor who was tailor-made to play Deadpool. I mean,
no, it's not that. Deadpool was based on Ryan Reynolds.
Well, I mean, I've seen the Deadpool character in comic books, and it's like if there was an actor that was gonna play him, it was gonna be Ryan Reynolds. I mean, I could think of maybe a couple of other actors that could pull it up, but I mean, it's like I don't think anybody will argue that Ryan Reynolds was the guy who should have been that would have been absolutely the first choice to play Deadpool.
Yeah.
I mean, he took it over, and it was but it wasn't that big of an adjustment because Deadpool was up Ryan Reynolds' alley in the first place.
Yeah. Okay.
Blake Lively was attempting, because what Justin Baldoni was attempting to do here was he was going to try to make a book series off of because the movie, it ends with us. or whatever the name of that movie was that they were in together. I can't remember specifically what the name was. Is that Justin Baldoni was charismatic enough to get the author of that book and this whole series of books that she had written.
Okay.
He got the movie rights to all of those books.
Oh, I can see where this is going to go bad.
Yeah, so Blake Lively was not only attempting to get Justin Baldoni removed from the series, but she was also trying to wrest
To get the movie rights out
to get the movie rights out of him, but trying to get the studio to do anything, which obviously isn't going to work now. But yeah, but it's also, again, going back to Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Apparently his contract with Marvel is now in either he's lost it or he's about to lose it. So that means that there's not going to be a Deadpool 4, at least not in the immediate future. Hello? Hello?
No, keep going. I'm here.
Okay, yeah. There's not going to be a Deadpool 4 in the immediate future. There's a soccer team that him and another celebrity bought over in England. They have either released him, they've either bought out his contract, or they're asking him to sell his portion of the share of the team. He's also had a few other of his other deals fall through. He is basically everything that Ryan Reynolds is tied into is suddenly, well, is he going to do it or is he not going to do it? Or the company going to keep him or not going to keep him? Blake Lively has apparently, not apparently, Blake Lively has just absolutely nuked her career. Like, there's not, like, it's going to take her years to get her reputation back as is, and that assumes, of course, that she doesn't continue to go down the same route that Amber Heard does. Now, let me just go back through this, because Blake, the similarities between Blake Lively and what Amber Heard is doing, what Blake Lively are doing, there's a lot of similarities. Curiously timed hit pieces, dragging stuff out publicly, trying to smear the person. The difference is that Amber Heard was just doing it to be a vindictive bitch, whereas Blake Lively was trying to be a little bit more strategic about it.
She hasn't right?
Yeah, she. Oh yeah. Well, I was just going to say, Blake Lively's career is probably damaged beyond repair, because at this point, even if she tapped out now, and she's probably not going to, because she's got a lot of Hollywood actors, they've got these huge egos, and their egos have clearly been committed at this point. She's not going to, okay. Which means that she's going to end up in the same position that Amber Heard ended up in, which is, I can't really say I'm overly surprised at that, but again, right? It's like, there were warning signs, though, about Blake Lively. Again, like, I remember reading stories 10 years ago about how toxic the set was on Gossip Girls. And it was, Blake Lively was bad, was pretty bad. I got to point out that Leighton Meesters apparently was, all of the cast of that show was difficult in one form or another. And, it's also, and of course there was the issue with Anna Kendrick, Anna Kendrick also, by the way, is somebody who's known to be quite difficult. So you probably had two very egotistical actors working together, and they probably didn't get along. Anna Kendrick is basically trying to keep out of it, but it's kind of hard to do when there's actual reporting of the tense work situation between the two of them when they were on the movie together. So, Blake Lively just keeps doubling it down, and what's going on here is that anybody who is involved, like I mean, like they dragged Taylor Swift into this, and they dragged a couple of
What?
other people, and yeah, she dragged Taylor Swift into this. Um,
Wow. Okay.
yeah,
When you're kicking up the sand in the water. Oh, fuck's sakes. Okay. All right. Well,
okay, all right.
yeah.
It's I mean, like I said, again, right? Neither her nor I mean, Ryan Reynolds was apparently on Saturday Night Live yesterday, and
Oh, okay.
kind of made light of it. Although I haven't actually seen the video, I'm actually going to have to go see it. Um, I think Reynolds has kind of gone quiet about the whole situation.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Reynolds has enough wherewithal to realize that this isn't going to work out no matter what he does. Which,
well, maybe he's got it. Maybe he has enough sense to do what Blake Lively isn't doing, which is tapping the fuck out.
yep.
Well, maybe
Okay.
he's able to convince Blake Lively to do it. I'm also going to point out one other thing here, too.
Okay. Yeah.
Justin Baldoni is a male feminist. He's a man bun wearing. I've seen enough videos about this whole incident. And I've looked at Justin Baldoni's attire and some of the people he's associated with, and the way he talks to women, and the way he picks, and the stuff that he, and the movies that he's picked, and so on and so forth. He is a male feminist. Again, I mean, while it's like in this particular case, it's like, and I'm gonna go back to Sargon of Akkad's video, "Beware the Male Feminist." I don't think this applies to Justin Baldoni.
Okay, but
I mean, it makes me a little bit less sympathetic towards him, because it's like, yeah, hey, Justin, well, how'd that sucking up go for you?
how does Blake Lively's ass really taste?
Well, I mean, I got to point some stuff out about what Blake Lively did. At one point, and this is actually in the in the in the instant messages between her and Blake. I mean, at one point, Blake Lively was apparently breastfeeding her kid in her dressing room, and Justin Baldoni messaged her on her cell phone, and he specifically pointed out, I don't think I should be going to your dressing room or your wagon suite while you're breastfeeding her kid. And she goes, "Oh yeah, fine, come on, it's not a problem, come on in." So he does, and then she changes the story around later on, where she says, "Oh well, he just burst in while I was breastfeeding my kid." It's like, well, no, you invited him in.
Here's
right?
Here's the text. This is what I'm interpreting. What are you interpreting? Because I don't see it here.
Yep. Well, again, right. There's just too many parallels to Amber Heard in this particular situation.
Male logic versus female quote logic.
Yep. The difference, and here's a couple of key differences though between the situation. One, although Baldoni is a male feminist, there is now, and specifically probably because of what happened with Johnny Depp, any major actors or directors or any heavyweights in Hollywood that get falsely accused like this, like they know exactly what to do now. Right? So you can't run that playbook anymore.
Well, that would probably explain why the bitch fucking took off, went to Europe or wherever the fuck she is.
Yep. The other part on this is that Baldoni is a feminist. He doesn't strike me, from the interviews I've seen of him, to be a creepy male feminist. I mean, he looks more like he's just a soy.
I threw you off on that one, but tell me I'm not wrong.
Yeah, you threw me. Yeah, well, I don't think he's a pedophile. He doesn't. Again, nothing says pedophile about him. But I mean, it doesn't strike me as being like the creepy male feminists that you've seen. But again, right,
dude. Okay, Taylor Swift concert. Montreal was burning. What more do you need to say than that?
Well, I mean, I'm talking about Beldoni, not Trudeau.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was talking about Beldoni.
Oh, we're talking about Trudeau. Trudeau, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, don't worry, we'll get our chance to roast Trudeau later on in
it's
the
it,
show.
it's coming, folks.
It is
It's coming. It's
definitely
coming.
coming. It's coming. So anyway, this is just going to continue on. I suspect we might even have. This might be one of those rare things that we actually covered 3 weeks in a row because it was like I didn't want to add this, but it was just when I saw Candace Owens release. Oh, the thing about all of these releases to all these gossip sites like TMZ, whatever, they refuse to run the stuff because there's just so much stuff off about the stuff that got released.
Well, oh my. Okay, if TMZ isn't going to cover it, there's a problem.
Yeah, TMZ refused to run Blake stuff,
Wow.
and it's like,
So,
wow, yeah.
so if one of the biggest Hollywood rags that's out there won't touch this, this is more toxic than Chernobyl and Fukushima and
Well, it's the biggest thing since Heard and Depp. Anyway, I'm going to turn it over to you for your commentary now.
well, I stumbled across TJ, whatever the fuck his name is, the guy that played the bartender in the first Deadpool movie. I didn't see the second one, and there seems to have been apparently some tension between him and Reynolds that he didn't see happen, but Reynolds was throwing shade on him to kind of say it's like, like you're useless. You have no reason to be here. It was something along those lines. And I think that Ryan's Teflon image is, well, the poisonous gas that comes from Teflon when you cook it for too damn long or too high a temperature, that's starting to come through. So I don't know. I mean, my feeling on with this whole thing is that Reynolds is probably realizing this is not going to go very well because this bitch is out of control, and I think that's basically the only way to say it. I mean, I hate. No, not hate. I really dislike using the word narcissist, but because it's thrown around so much right now in this at this point in time, it's pretty much a buzzword. And Lively seems to have a really, well, the bitch has a really big ego. I don't know how else to say it except that she does. And let's not kid ourselves. Between you and me, my friend, I mean,
And
there's
the
nothing.
6 listeners.
Holy wow. Okay. My apologies. I wasn't really keeping track. But I mean, there's nothing more dangerous at the end of the day than an egotistical woman who's got her head shoved so far up her ass that every time she farts, she thinks that it's fresh air. Because I think that's the case of Blake Lively. She's got as much as that is anatomically impossible, and it is, um, unless she's a contortionist, and even still, she can just, you get the idea. I mean, there's, I don't even know where to go with this one because this whole thing has just, uh, we were joking a long enough time ago that Brie Larson, the gift that keeps on giving, well, the cosmic gift that just never ends or keeps on giving or whatever. I think that that's going to be the case with Blake Lively. I'm going to say this right now. Don't be surprised within 2 years that there's a divorce between these two.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me at all. She
I,
has indirectly, she has gone on the record as saying Ryan's wins are my wins, and his and my wins are his wins, and it's sort of like, well, congratulations. Then using that same logic, you have just almost inexorably and seriously damaged Ryan's reputation as well as yours,
so
right?
so if she's going down, I'm not talking down on her knees, but if her career's going downhill, Brian's going to be pulled down with her. like I said, like this is going to be. She's nothing but a fucking black hole, really. And I'm not talking sexually. I'm just talking like she's just going to. Her ego expands out into like a black hole. Once you get that critical mass of, in theory, a certain amount of iron in the core of a sun, it collapses, and then that's it. It's gone. So I my opinion of Reynolds is that I don't think he's nearly as squeaky clean as he presents himself. Yes, he's hilarious to listen to, but my feeling of Pedalwood being what it is, right, Reynolds is right up there for people that have compromised them, have sold their souls to the devil, and I think with his immediate marriage, he's married to a devil or a demoness or demona, whatever you want to call her. Like,
Well,
that woman's nothing but trouble. Like, that's
oh
all she
well,
is.
yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, apparently Reynolds, she just quote unquote stole Reynolds away from. She stole Reynolds away from, of all women, Scarlett Johansson.
Okay, I'm sorry, but Scarlett Johansson is also on record basically for saying that she's pretty polygamous.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson, again, big ego. Although apparently not nearly as toxic or as controlling as Blake Lively is. Well, I mean, no, she doesn't have that reputation
No,
for like having. I mean, although there was apparently some between her and the hell's her name from the other actress from Iron, Gwyneth Paltrow. You know, Gwyneth Paltrow, the can make candles that smell like my pussy, Paltrow. For some reason,
the cunt smelling candles. Oh, for fuck's sakes!
yeah, see, there was a little bit of friction between those two. But I mean,
Oh,
Scarlett Johansson doesn't seem to come with nearly the baggage.
and the only time that there would be any sort of friction between those two would have been on the on the set for Endgame, which again is where this whole thing just fuck would have ended.
Oh,
Anyway.
no, there was Iron Man as well, but she was only
Oh
Scarlett
yeah, yeah,
Johansson was only on there for a bit. Anyway,
yeah. Okay, so
we're gonna just add. I mean, maybe we're gonna do this for 427. Maybe this will go on for 427. The last thing I'm going to say about this before we move on to the next topic is that, again, I said this at the start, I'm going to say this at the finish. If she chooses to follow the same route that Amber Heard followed, she's going to end up in the same place that Amber Heard ended up.
and if she does, she will take Ryan down with her.
Oh, she will definitely. I mean, like, she has done irreparable damage to, like, everybody is taking a second look at Ryan Reynolds now as well.
Yeah,
And it's like,
Yep.
I mean, no more Deadpool. It's going to probably be. It's not. There's not going to be a Deadpool movie for another 3 or 4 years now. They have to wait for this whole thing to blow over again before they can even consider re-signing Reynolds. And again, I have to say this about Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds: that character in the comic books and Ryan Reynolds were the perfect fit.
Yep, it was. It absolutely was. Okay. All right, let's move on.
All right, moving on.
Oh,
Okay.
7. Holy shit.
Yeah, although we still have that one down vote. So I mean, it's like apparently
whatever. You get downvoted all the fucking time on YouTube, and it didn't make any difference. No, did it?
Yep. Okay, so let's move on to the next one here. Yep. I am posting up logo number 4.
And again, folks, if you are
again, this one was a little bit off. I mean, it looks, because it's got the 2 eyes in it and everything. It just doesn't.
No, well, there's that, and there's 2. Oh fuck! The grammar Nazi in me, it just wants to fucking scream out on this one. No, this one doesn't work.
No, this one definitely doesn't work. But I mean, I'm posting it up for a couple minutes for everybody to have have a look at it. Like I said, this is what happens when I asked AI to draw up some Red Pill Nation logos for me.
I don't know what that thing in the background is, but I do like it.
Oh, I like it a lot. This is the reason why I considered it. But anyway, let's move on to the next one here. And oh wow, I have been waiting. This is
Oh.
the Elon Musk section.
Once a hoe, always a hoe. Sorry. Sorry to steer your thunder. But
oh, Ashley run through. Apparently that was her name at the university that she went to.
Sloot.
What can I possibly say about that's
Slut.
among other things. Well, keep in mind she actually used to be on OnlyFans a sexy laptop.
And apparently she loves to be also railroaded by big black dicks.
Yeah, that too. Although
I'll leave that one alone. I'll leave that one alone.
I didn't see anything to that effect. Again, though, and I'm going to say let's just bring up what happened. Ashley is living and is married to another guy at this point. She went out and had Elon Musk's kid.
No. What the?
And this was 5 months ago. Obviously, Elon's been kind of ignoring the situation. The timing.
14 months ago, because apparently the offspring was popped out 5 months previously.
Yeah. So, first of all, Ashley St. Clair. I mean, we've covered her a couple of times on the Red Pill Nation Hangout on previous shows.
Yeah.
She has said some like god awful, fucking stupid shit about the manosphere, which is how she managed to make it onto this show. Yeah. And it's like I'm like listening to her stuff, and she's not really saying anything original. The first thing, the key thing here is, and this also, I keep in mind, she's definitely, in terms of intellectual capability, she is definitely not in Lauren Southern's category. Say what you want to about Lord Southern, stupid is not one of Lauren's.
Well, you said say what you want. It's like, well, I did.
Run.
I'm going to shut up for a bit. Go ahead.
Run through Surrey, girl. Pass around, baby. There's a few things you can say about Lauren Southern, but I mean, stupid is not one of them. She does do her job reasonably well. She's a bit of a grifter, but same thing with Eva Vlar.
Okay. I'm sorry. Hooking up with Destiny? That's pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't say she was a genius, but I mean, it's like, like I've seen some of Lauren Southern stuff.
Anyway,
Ashley St. Clair is not in Lauren Southern's cat. Again, although Lauren Southern is an example of even the quote the smartest women making really stupid fucking decisions.
Yeah.
But regardless of whether it's Tommy Lahren or Chrissy Mayer or Lauren Southern or Ashley St. Clair or Eva, that one who the Kate girl at the start of 2024, I can't remember her name, the Latino with the gorgeous tatas. I can't remember specifically what her name was. That was about a year ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
that wasn't the one that didn't want to be walked around like a dog, was it?
I think so. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, okay, yes, I remember the one you were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, the Kate girl.
Yeah. The one that wore the apron, making sure she showed enough of her cleavage. Yeah, well, the other The other thing that was caked on at that point in time was her fucking makeup. Oh, my bad.
Oh well, I mean, I will
Tell you
point
what.
out quite clearly that she had a wicked buddy. But anyway, Ashley St. Clair of that group, she's obviously not nearly as bright. I'm going to post up the photo of the one that's been going around here. But as you can clearly see, she's not suffering in the looks department.
Well, she's not suffering the looks department only because she's got so much fucking makeup on. Take that off, she's going to be a 6 at best. Let's
Well,
be
I don't know. Again, I don't know. I'm not really. Again, Ashley St. Clair has said some really stupid shit. All of the women that I mentioned, except for Eva Vlar, have all said really stupid shit about the fucking manosphere. At Tiffany, what the hell was her name? I was just watching a video of her, that Australian chick. Sydney Watson. They've all said really stupid shit. Oh, Lauren Chin has also said some stupid stuff about the manosphere as well.
No, don't give me shit. Yeah.
Anyway, the first thing I'm going to say here is that, guys, if you're listening, and I'm going to have to assume that most of the audience here is male, for the love of fucking God, will you please stop giving the fucking farm away just because some gorgeous chick with baby blue or baby brown eyes bats her fucking eyelashes at you and says something that you agree with politically, right? Like the number of conservative commentators, specifically the number of male conservative commentators that have gone to bat for her is absolutely astounding. Like astounding. She had a kid out of wedlock while she is still married.
Fuck.
This is something that has been pointed out frequently by guys in the manosphere. Rollo Tomasi had a specific show about Ashley St. Clair today.
About this whole kerfuffle.
About this whole thing.
Wow.
The other thing that Ashley St. Clair did, and you're going to love this because I actually did see this on Twitter or X. She commented about, oh, well, please leave us alone. My 5-month-old child is not a target of speculation and so forth. We want our privacy.
Well,
and of course,
then shut your fucking mouth. You should have closed your fucking legs.
Well, here's the thing, right? It's like
that's what needs to be said right there. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your fucking legs.
Well, here's the thing about that. She said that. She blocked responses to it. And then, the next day, she invited the New York Post into her penthouse apartment.
Oh, my... What? No.
Yeah.
Oh. And
folks, that's her demanding privacy. And, to the people who are listening to this, let me just I got on a bit of a soapbox here. Write it down, save it, so when you get your chance, you'll get the chance to say it. I'm like, so the guys that are listening to this, like, they talk about this in MGTOW all the fucking time. Control your sexuality. Don't give out.
Yeah, thank you. For what? Yeah. Oh my God.
Don't give away, and I said this already once on the show, do not give away the farm because some gorgeous quote-unquote conservative chick says stuff that you agree with, especially if you're in the manosphere, because it's like, in particular MGTOW, in regards to the manosphere, like women don't like MGTOW. The reason why most women don't like MGTOW is because MGTOW, the guys who've gone full MGTOW, or especially the guys who've gone monk mode MGTOW, because there's different versions of MGTOW as well, is that, all of them, like MGTOW, especially the guys that have gone past the red pill rage, all of them, the aim of MGTOW is to stop servicing women. Does that mean that they necessarily will stop sleeping with women or having girlfriends or whatever? Well, there was Human, and there was Think Before You Sleep, and there's been a couple of other guys who former MGTOW content creators who disappeared after they got girlfriends. And there was one guy, Howard Dare, who was married and claimed to be MGTOW, and that's an absolute no because you cannot be married and be MGTOW. Like that's the first tenet of MGTOW is, marriage boycott, not female boycott, marriage boycott. So yeah, and of course Ashley St. Clair is also Jewish, and of course that got brought up. But I mean, I had to point out to a few people that of the 4 women that Elon Musk has had women with children with in the past, not all of them were Jewish, right? It's like, like Ashley St. Clair didn't do what she did because she's Jewish, like you don't have to go. I mean, look at Lauren Southern, by the way, who, by the way, was also accused of being Jewish, even though she literally did a 23andMe gene test, opened up the envelope in front of everybody on screen and read it out for everybody to see. And there's still people that were arguing she's Jewish. Lauren Southern is not Jewish. She's not she didn't do this because she's Jewish. She did this because she's a woman. Congratulations, though, on hitting the lottery. You're still going to be a pass around girl, Ashley. You've done irreparable. I don't know why your husband is still staying with you. I mean, the only reason I can think of him staying with you is because like this, you must.
Cha-ching! Cha-ching! That's it.
Yeah, that's basically it. And I mean, right? It's like your credibility. You're like, I mean, I'm not really interested. I mean, with be it Lauren Southern or Lauren Chen or Shoe on Head or Tommy Lahren or any of those other women, or even Sydney Watson, like any of those other women, I would still and be kind of sort of interested in what they have to say. But with you and the way you've acted, I mean, right? If you think conservative, and I've done a video on this in the past, I'm going to say it again. If you think conservative chicks are the answer to the problem, they're not. For the conservative man out there,
Nope.
It's like no. If
Did you say
it's
no?
like if you
Did you say no?
it's like that, you need to get this myth out of your head that if you find the perfect woman, if you find the unicorn out there, that your problems are going to somehow magically be solved and go away.
Oh.
No, they're not. In the West, women, even the conservative ones, really cannot be. Actually, women in general. I mean, even if you go overseas, women are still going to be women. You're still going to, I mean, for instance, Eastern European women and Latino women are just notorious for their fucking shit testing. You know all about Japanese women, don't you, Rearson?
I know more. Well, yes and no. All I'm going to say, where I live within social housing, I've had this conversation with guys from India or the Middle East. I can't fucking remember where they're from. And we came to the same conclusion, is that women are women are women no matter where they are on this planet of existence. Their brains are all the fucking same. Men's brains are all the same.
Yeah, they are. It's like what's happened here in the West is that the way the West has been set up right now, the worst aspects of women are allowed to thrive, right? Conservative women have a few more restraints against it, but those restraints are dependent upon them. And keep in mind that there's nobody that's going to call them out except for guys in the manosphere, right? Or maybe, all right, I will give credit. Mark Dice called her out. Jeremy Hembling from the Quartering called her out for her behavior. So there were a few guys.
Was this was this in light of her revelation?
Yeah, it was. Mark Dice.
Okay.
Mark Dice
Okay.
did a specific video
Oh,
on it.
yeah. Okay. I can see Mark Dice doing that.
Yeah,
Handling,
Mark.
yeah, the quartering, good for him.
I have seen a few people on our side hold their feet, but the number of guys, that number of conservative guys that have literally cocked themselves and lost a lot of legitimacy for praising a woman.
Liar.
Oh, by the way, Chris, some of these guys are profound. They have talked about their quote unquote faith, right? And this is
Okay.
something that Jeremy Hempling talks. Oh, Rollo Tomasi definitely called her out.
Oh, yeah.
Rollo Tomasi, says is like, unless you're practicing what you say you believe, your faith is just empty, and that's what it is basically. With although again,
Oh, like Nala? Oh,
what?
sorry. Like Nala?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
I found out that Nala has actually done hardcore porn, so I went looking for it today and I found it. She's a bit of a screamer when you get her going. I will say that.
But I'm assuming
Now,
there's really no boobs with Nala, right?
oh well, she's not flat Susie Flat Chest, but again, right? It's like so. I mean, all right. Without getting too much into her, I mean, like, yeah, I think we've.
I'm not gonna get into her, and I hope you don't either. Just
I'm
saying.
not gonna discuss her anymore. Let's discuss Elon Musk for a couple minutes because I
Yeah.
mean, he's been staying mysteriously silent about this, and I have got to say this about Elon Musk. I mean, blue pill alpha is what keeps coming up with him because he just keeps making these really bad fucking choices when it comes to the women he chooses to fucking, like Amber Heard. He banged Amber Heard. Like,
Okay.
wow.
All right, fair enough.
He stuck his dick in outright crazy. Compared to Amber Heard, Ashley St. Clair is like stable.
She's sane for a woman? Oh, did I say that out loud? Yes, I did.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I mean, Elon Musk has stuck his dick in outright fucking crazy a couple times. He makes really bad. Keep in mind, right, and this is also something that's been pointed out by a few guys in the manosphere. Having wealth all by itself, and if you're one of those people who thinks, oh well, yeah, money's the be all end all, no, it's fucking not. Okay, like if you're going to say a state where they actually have legalized prostitution, like say Nevada, right? If you have enough money, you could go to there's some pretty they got to go they've got hen houses
Yeah.
where the women are all pretty decent looking. They're expensive as hell, but it's like if you have the money, you could basically spend a week there and have a different girl a couple times a day, like no problem, right?
Fly
Having
to the Philippines. It's going to be a lot fucking cheaper, and you get a lot more for a lot longer. Just saying.
Okay, I don't have no idea about that, but it's like, again, right? It's like, the thing is, though, is that you didn't actually seduce these women; you paid for them. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? Having money in of itself does not make you alpha. It grants you a certain level of independence. It definitely gives you access to better facilities, better cars, a lot of other things. But money is not the end all that a lot of people like to think it is, right? But I mean, again,
if I may say,
you're up anyway, so go ahead.
Well, I was going to say Elon is in the autistic spectrum, so that already unto itself pushes him out of, aside from his wealth, that pushes himself basically out of any possibilities of passing on his genes. Let's not kid ourselves, folks.
Well, he's got 13 kids already.
Yeah, that's only because he's got millions and millions of dollars.
Billions of billions.
Well, whatever the fucking case may be. I mean, for Ashley Sinclair, I mean, apparently she was underage, as per listening to Joker on Better Bachelor or Odd Man Out News or whatever he's got. So this whole thing is just, as I said, women are women are women. Period. All that changes is the skin color, the facial features, but the brain is still wired the same. This woman is out for a quick, easy enough paycheck, and well,
Oh, by the way,
what's that?
it might also be possible that this could be paternity fraud, which is why Elon has been staying quiet about it.
Oh, quite possibly. well,
Continuing.
well, actually, no. You bring up a valid point as well too. At the end of the day, your genes don't lie. Whether you think you're a man who should be a woman, or you're a woman that should be a man, or in the case of this, for her to be digging deep, I don't know how big Elon is. Don't fucking know. Don't fucking care. But at the end of the day, show me the DNA test, and then I will actually have an actual response to this. And I think that is what we have to be collectively as men to hold women accountable for this kind of shit. And again, given her flip flop attitude, she was a skank and a fucking slut within high school or college or whatever. Wouldn't surprise me for both. And again, you should look up Better Bachelor with this whole thing with Ashley. Apparently, she likes Tyrone and Ray Ray or whatever. I don't know what the fucking names are. She's happy to get railroaded or plowed out or whatever with with the black dick. And if that's fine for you, great. Go ahead, knock yourself out.
Well, I mean, again, I'm sure there's actually, you know what? We're going to look that up. See, there's got to be some
Ashley Sinclair BBC tweet.
OnlyFans leaks. Okay, there has got to be some OnlyFans leaks here.
I'm
Are
sure
you done though? Because I will discuss this at a future point in time. Obviously, I
well,
won't.
yeah. Again, I'm gonna say that. Yeah, you're absolutely right. At the end of the day, show me the proof. Show me the evidence. Do a DNA test with Elon, and let's go from there. Because until I see that anything that this female, and I'll use that term very loosely, until anything that this fucking slut says is immaterial, because again, let's not kid ourselves, gents, for those of you that are male listening, paternity fraud is at least 30% fraudulent. So at the end of the day, let's not kid ourselves. You really can't trust a woman when it comes to a baby, and especially if it's going to be. Now, I ain't saying she's a gold digger, but I'm sure she's got more than a couple of pickaxes at home, ready to try to go and look for that gold vein, just because she can and she will. So you can't trust women. I'm sorry, but you just can't. Not in a position with where she is. Although maybe she likes a doggy style, maybe she likes to ride, or she's just happy opening her legs up in this missionary and just and you just fucking pisting in and out of her. Oh fuck. Yeah. Oh, we're up to 10 subs. Cool. Thank you, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are listening. I'm out of my red pill rage for quite a while, and it is not going to change. So let's move on.
Wait, we're up to double digits. Wow.
Yeah, we
Okay,
are.
welcome.
We are.
Okay, because I was busy looking at the. Hold on a second here. I will take care of it. But we'll move on to the next. We'll move on to the next topic here. Yeah. it's Elon Musk taking the axe to FEMA.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I'll mute myself.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I mean, this is not a surprise. I mean, I think Elon Musk and Donald Trump and Vivek Ramaswamy had a list of places that they were going to check out first,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, one of those places was going to be was obviously going to be FEMA. Like another another one was going to be another one was clearly going to be USA, because USA had been
USA has been USA so far has been the vanguard, the forerunner, what do you want to call it, for U.S. corruption, and for the reason why that we have Nancy Pelosi being worth as much as she is, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, but I'm not, Bernie Sanders and whoever else. And it's also probably
yeah.
the reason why that we don't have, we lost two, well, whatever. Um, with Disney suddenly not providing funding to the BBC, not porn, but actual UK channels for like Doctor Who, because in Shirigawa, or whatever his fucking name is, being black and being gay, and the Doctor Who series that is now is filming in remarkable freaking manner. Sorry, my apologies. Please go on.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yep. So it looks like a younger version of Ashley St. Clair. There. Hold on a second. We'll get back. Hold on a second. First of all, I'm going to post up the last of the AI selections. So we're down to 7 now. This one doesn't look too bad, actually.
It looks like a funny. I'm thinking a funny horseshoe.
Yeah.
A really funny horseshoe.
This one's not too bad. But anyway, continuing on. Yeah. So yeah, Elon Musk. Their FEMA was on that list. Obviously, Department of Health, and oh yeah, also
Which
they're talking about potentially launching a full investigation into the contracts of the Department of Health and Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson and Johnson.
Wow.
Yeah.
If that goes through, holy shit.
To quote a couple of people on that one, it's like well, for instance, you were telling me that there's a Doge money calculator. And it's like, I mean, how much money has been discovered so far? And they've only really touched on a couple of places. The thing that really spoke, and here's the thing about it. This is the reason why they chose to go after FEMA with an axe. And because Donald Trump has clearly stated that there is supposed to be no more money transfers made from the government to to NGOs or private institutions until they have been cleared.
Yeah.
This particular person at FEMA decided, and this is the same reason why they went after USAID. Somebody at USAID. By the way, the director of USAID has been clearly fired. Right? Not a big surprise here. We're down to 4 now. By the way. Yeah. The whole thing with that is that, I mean, somebody at FEMA authorized this transfer, and they tried to do it clandestinely. And to quote Marco Rubio, when he was talking about FEMA, somebody decided that they were going to ignore the commander-in-chief of the president in his mandate on this. Same thing happened at FEMA. The moment you disregard the directive of the president of the United States in regards to this, that's when Elon Musk comes after you. So apparently at this point, what they're doing is they're just simply allowing arrogant, condescending assholes who think that they know better
Yep.
To basically shoot themselves
In the foot.
in the foot,
Yeah.
and then just basically have Elon or Vivek Ramaswamy go in with an axe.
Yep.
And they're basically being allowed to defeat themselves at this point. Now, they're going to get some of the agencies, the IRS has been like stock silent. The Department of Health and Department of Education have been stock silent. State Department, I can also imagine that Rubio's, like, again, right. The Treasury is being very, very, very quiet.
Well, okay, so the Treasury has to keep their mouth shut on this one because I said this before, and I was shocked to be on this. But the Treasury absorbed the Federal Reserve, which was a private bank that was lending money to the U.S. government.
Yeah, they were.
And they did.
And it's like, again, right? It's like what they're basically doing is they're just simply allowing these individuals to just,
as Napoleon said, my apologies for stepping in here, my friend, but don't interrupt anyone when they're in the process of destroying themselves, and that's what this is.
Exactly. They're just continuously defeating themselves, and it's just it's like at this point it's just simply, oh yeah, look, we have this suspicious leak here. Go over, take a look at it, and see what's going on. Yep. So the whole situation with this is that, again, like, all they really got to do at this point is they just basically just have to point Elon in the right direction, and that's all they really have to do at this point. Again, it's probably, again, if they're not doing this voluntarily on their own, then it'll be what they're, it's gonna probably give it about 4 to 6 months, and all of these agencies are gonna learn that they can't try to sneak money past the executive branch of office because they've got whistleblowers everywhere now. And what's gonna happen? It's not a very good photo of Elon Musk, by the way. I should have put something different. He looks a little cross-eyed in this photo. Bob,
go fuck yourself.
But I mean, here's the thing. I mean,
go fuck yourself.
Here's the thing. I mean, they gave. Oh, by the way, this branch was also paying for the hotel room of the guy who killed that girl.
What, the CEO?
No, not the CEO. That. Oh my God, Jesus! I got to start learning to remember names better. Tiffany, what's her name? The one that got Tiffany. God damn it! I can't remember the name. Because Donald Trump just signed a bill about her recently.
Oh well. All right. Anyway,
hold on a second. Yeah, the guy who killed that illegal immigrant that killed that girl, who had been released by the police after he did it. I can't remember what the hell her name is. I'm looking it up right now. Laken Riley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Laken Riley. This is the same. FEMA was paying for the hotel room of the guy who killed Laken Riley, for instance.
Okay.
It should be duly pointed out that, of course, Ron DeSantis has come out with the sledgehammer again, and has decided that any illegal immigrant that commits a capital offense, meaning murder, felony murder, sexual assault, or whatever, they are now subject to the death penalty. I
I'm
kind
not.
of expected that Ron DeSantis was going to try and do was going to was going to do something like that. I mean,
I'm not against.
again, like
I'm not against it.
again, it's a different. Oh, I'm not against it either. I mean, the issue in Canada again, right? Um, when we get when we get to the next topic, you'll start to see you're going to start to see a pattern emerge here.
Mhm.
The whole thing is that you know, they went after FEMA, and keep in mind FEMA's got a lot of egg on its face already. I mean, there was the
Yeah.
hurricane in Florida where the rescuers were specifically told to ignore yard signs that endorsed Trump. That was the one. That was one. And there was the hurricane in North Carolina
Yeah.
where the organizers, the people who were coordinating that, were like literally discussing the politics of making sure that the people who are being rescued were being rescued by people of the same race, like DEI.
Whatever the case. Yeah, and I've heard similar. Well, I've also heard as well too. Pardon me for stealing a possible thunder here, but I've also heard about FEMA running out of money a long time ago because it was all given away to the illegals in New York City or Florida
Oh
or
well,
California.
they ran out of money, and
Yeah,
well, where did it go?
yep,
Well, look at what Elon Musk is doing right now.
yep.
It's like we're just at the tip of the iceberg here.
Oh yeah, I know.
I mean, it's like we're going to get. I suspect we're going to get into the trillions at some. We're like, I mean, we're what is the current number anyway? You mentioned it at the start of the show.
U.S. debt clock. It was about 106 billion, I
Yep.
believe.
Yeah, so it's gonna pass a trillion. We're just barely screwed. It's just FEMA,
100,
USA.
104 billion, and insert whatever image of Doctor Evil you want to put into that, but that's basically it.
Okay, well, I mean,
104.
it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, I mean, you know, and all they've done is FEMA in USA. They haven't gone after the Pentagon yet. They haven't gone after the Treasury. They
Yep.
specifically haven't looked at the Fed. They haven't looked at the Department of Health. They haven't looked at education. They haven't looked at agriculture. By the way, there's some serious shit going on in agriculture, right? Like
Batten down the hatches, boys, because it's going to be a rough fucking ride.
the Department, oh my God, the Department of Defense.
Mhm.
Jesus Christ. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, it's gonna go into the multi trillions.
Oh, well, I think what will my apologies for stepping in here. And what you're saying is already going through my head already as it is. And I said this last week or whatever it was, is that what's going on with the deal with Doge, it will have a rippling effect around the rest of the world because I know that there was a growing feeling within Canada. I can't speak for the UK or Australia or New Zealand or
Well, I
the
mean, when we get to topic number six, it's like you're gonna
oh,
see, you know, it's like, yeah, like I mean, going into what's happened now with Canada, into external affairs, right? They locked off their website with all of their expenses because
it's
people
back,
started looking.
it's back up again, but
It's been scrubbed.
no, not entirely because Moose on the Loose is still pulling up his excuse me, his additional segment on all of that, which is to look into well, what is Foreign Affairs Canada been wasting our money on this time, and it's relatively consistent. It's all of the DEI shit. So my opinion with what's going on with FEMA is systemic, and I don't like using that word, but I have to say it for what it is. The system is full of nothing but corruption from bottom to top and top back down to bottom again. And if for anybody listening now, up to this point with what Musk and his 6-man team has been able to uncover. Allegedly, folks, allegedly, Donald Rumsfeld was going to be talking about the $2 trillion black hole that was going on in the Pentagon. And then all of a sudden, bam, call it for whatever you will. I have my doubts about it, but 9/11 happened the day after.
Oh yeah, at the very it hit the very room where they were going to have that meeting.
Really?
What a coinkydink! Yeah.
Really? Well, fucking no shit. And then Building 7, wherever it was, it went down before it was supposed to go down to what the news was supposed to be talking about. Yeah. I'm sorry, but when 9/11 first happened at the time, for me, it was one of those, okay, I've heard this enough already. That was within the first hour. That was when the spouse was supposed to go back, literally the same day of. And she changed her flight to return. Back when I was happily married, but anyway. But it's, to quote BTO, you ain't seen nothing yet, because as interesting as this whole thing has been so far, this is but the beginning of all of the crap coming down. So, which actually ties in quite nicely for topic number 6, which I'm going to wait for that one. So, I don't have anything to say on this one, except this is, like you said, this is but the tip of the iceberg. Like if you're getting pissed off now, I'm sorry, folks, but you have to rein in your excitement and your anger. Drop your temperature down to boil your blood, because it's so much more waiting to come out from it all. And believe me, on Crackbook, I'm biting my tongue, because I've gotten to a couple of discussions already with Mr. Taylor that we had talked about before, and a couple of other people. And again, the gentleman between the two of us, neither of us are speaking to anymore. He is so dense to what's going on. It's unreal. Intellectually, he has the capability to comprehend this, but his biases are so as much of an obstacle. It's not funny. But like, if you think things are crazy now, folks, believe me. And I have a really deep, rather dark side of my imagination too, that I keep to myself as much as possible. But if I'm going to go down that rabbit hole, I'm going to go down. And I'm pretty sure that I will not even hit rock bottom to what's happening here. So we'll see. We will see. Sorry, man. I don't have any more to say on this one.
Oh, that's okay. I'm just going to throw up something. It's a rather interesting photo that I found of Ashley St. Clair. It's not X or R rated, but it shows a certain other individual with her. I think you'll find this one very interesting. Yeah, gee, I wonder who that woman on the right is.
The Surrey slut? Yep, that looks like the Surrey slut to me.
Yep.
Two
hypocrites sitting together. What can I say?
Well,
all right.
Okay. Like I said, at the end of the day, a woman is a woman is a woman, and a man is a man is a man. At least with guys, you can categorize it pretty damn fucking quickly. With females, it's whatever suits their fucking interest. Correct me if I'm wrong. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. No, you're not.
They're fucking fickle. And
well, I mean, again, that's the reason why I went MGTOW. I no longer have an issue with that. Oh, thank God I went fucking MGTOW.
Well, well, I suppose in one way to put it as well too, in terms of the local climate to where I am and to where you used to live. Wait 10 minutes, and the weather's going to change. Wait 10 minutes, and woman's going to change her mind.
Yep.
Yep. All right, moving on.
All right. So the next one here. Let me just.
Oh,
I don't have any. I don't have any more. I don't have any more AI Red Pill Nation drawings. So yeah.
oh, the dreaded F word on YouTube right now.
Oh yeah. So this one is. Well, again, right? Like you're seeing. If you live in Canada, you're like seeing a serious AstroTurf campaign. Um, you're seeing a serious AstroTurf campaign being waged by Trudeau against, and by the way, it literally boiled over tonight in the game tonight. I think it was last night between Canada and the U.S. at the
Oh,
Four Nations. Yeah, there
yeah.
was a fight. There was like almost a bench clearing brawl. 9 seconds into the game.
You fucking idiots on both sides. Oh my. Oh.
Yeah, it was the Kachuk brothers who started it too. By the way, they put both of the Kachuk brothers out right at the start. So it was like literally they almost planned this right from the beginning. Um, I'm going I'm going to go out on the record, just say this before I continue to go on.
Yeah.
The Canadian team
Yeah.
is going to be, first of all, I don't want to be Finland tomorrow. I don't.
Okay.
I really do not want to be Finland tomorrow. Like the Canadians are going to be fucking. You've got elite high level athletes.
That lost to the Americans.
That lost to the Americans, and they didn't lose in an embarrassing way. I mean, from what I've been able to tell from some of the commentators, their goal.
Yeah, but a loss is a loss. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
well, I mean, it's yeah, I know. It's for Canada, a loss is a loss. This is like Brazil losing in soccer. Losing is unacceptable. Period. End of story.
Yeah.
The reason why they lost is because their goaltending really wasn't what you call solid. There's definitely Aiden Hill is going to be probably in net for the game against Finland and Boston. I think it's tomorrow that the game takes place. Okay. I think it's sweet. Is it Canada, US? No. I think it's Canada, Finland tomorrow. Today. Okay. Canada, Finland is today.
Yeah, that makes sense because this is going to be the runner-up for the bronze medal.
Yeah. By the way, the top two teams play a 1-game series against each other. So that's the way it's going to work for this tournament.
So who are the Americans playing?
The Americans are playing the Swedes. The Canadians are playing the Finns. The Finns are, because the Canadians are going to be fucking pissed based on how that game went. If it's probably going to be Canada and the U.S. in the finals and at Boston, the Canadians are still going to be fucking pissed. The American win lit a fire underneath team, at least for if history is anything to go by, the way the Americans behaved, and the fact that the Canadians lost, although they didn't get blown out, the goaltending just wasn't rock solid
it wasn't really there.
It wasn't really there. That's the reason why they lost. Keep in mind the Canadians also didn't capitalize on a lot of their chances. And trust me, there's when you have a team with McDavid, McKinnon, and Crosby on it. And that, by the way, that's just the first line. Like they've got 40 goal scorers on the fourth line. I mean, there's no excuse why they should have only scored one, even with the kind of goaltending that the U.S. has. And the U.S. does have some really solid goaltending. But anyway, getting into this topic. Oh, well, I mean, again, the American anthem got booed really badly at that game. I should point out.
No.
Well, the AstroTurf. Yeah. Yes. It's all AstroTurf. Yeah, the AstroTurf campaign is working to a certain degree. I hate to say it. Um,
Oh, sorry, that's my opinion of most Canadians right now.
well, it's not most Canadians. I mean,
Well, it is.
there's a huge number of
It
Canadians
is.
that didn't buy into the narrative at all. I certainly didn't fucking buy into the
Okay.
propaganda,
Okay.
right?
Okay. If you did, I'd be calling you out for this shit. I really would, and you know that.
Yeah, I didn't buy into it. A lot of the people I've spoken to haven't bought into it. Um, Keep in mind, I'm just one person with an opinion,
Yeah.
but it's like, you know, the whole that I mean, Trudeau, when and Trump had basically told him flat out, get the situation at the border in order,
Yeah.
or we're going to impose these tariffs. And instead of doing that, Trudeau came back up to Canada, and it's immediately started engaging in this AstroTurf bullshit, which a lot of people bought. One thing I will say about the AstroTurf campaign up here, it's very easy now to spot the people who get their information from the network news and the ones who are curious and did some looking. In fact, I even posted up a video at my face on my personal Facebook channel. I found a video on YouTube today about how, in specific steps, you can go into news stories and look at them and figure out whether they're propaganda or not.
Oh,
Um,
okay. So the fact that, to my knowledge, that Canada has not killed off the $600 million fortification funds for Canadian news outlets hasn't gone away, right?
no, it hasn't. Hold on a second here.
Shocker on that one. Fuck. Huh? Okay.
Okay, I just have to tell V that he has to get himself a Rumble account if he wants to jump in, because
Okay.
I'm gonna be live streaming here from now on.
It makes more sense. It makes more sense. And I'm enjoying it as well, too. To see our numbers go up and go down and whatnot, it to get
Well,
live.
considering when I'm going to just say this. Sorry, I'll let you finish and then I'll say what I'm going to say.
Yeah. I mean, to get basically immediate live feedback and hopefully you can capitalize it on it in one form or another. It's more invaluable than to do what we were doing before, which is recording Skype, and there we go.
Well, I mean, here's the other thing I've noticed about this is that I mean, it's like my numbers seem to be consistently going up, right? I mean, I did this like literally because of I will just freely admit it, and I will be talking to you about this
Shit.
offline afterwards. I have been sleeping anywhere between 10 and 12 hours a day since I got back from this last rotation. Like I was sleeping a lot. And the first day or so, I for the first couple of days, I literally didn't go anywhere. Like I usually it takes me about a day to get my legs back underneath me when I get back home. So I usually don't go out Thursday at all anyway. But I like 2 days, 3 days in, like today I slept 11 hours today. Like I slept for a very, very long time. And it's like that's 12, 11, 12, 10, 11. That's been the average for the last 3 days. I have been sleeping a lot.
Wow, that is a lot. But I mean,
I've got an explanation as to why, which I'm not going to get into on this show
yeah,
because we're live streaming right now.
yeah.
But again, Trudeau came back up and he immediately started in with this, and he deliberately and intentionally started dragging his ass on this, and they started making excuses. Oh, we're only 8% of the we're only taking in 8% of the fentanyl. We're only exporting 8% of the fentanyl in the United States, and we have this small percentage of illegals straight across the world. Okay, well, first of all, yeah, you're right. And I mean, having worked at a U.S. Consul General and having seen the people at that Consul General who are in that lineup, I can tell you for a fact, based upon my experience, because I did that job for a couple of weeks. There's not a lot of homegrown Canadians, like people who are born and raised in Canada, falling all over themselves to get into the US. There are a lot of people in Canada trying to get into the US, but they're people from India or China or some other country that are
Right.
in Canada trying to get into the US.
Yeah.
Right? There's not a lot of homegrowns falling over themselves to get. I mean, would I like to go down to the US? Yeah. Would I had, but I don't have a problem staying where I am. In fact, to a certain degree, right? I mean, because I live in Canada, like basically going wild or basically moving out to a small town is a very strong possibility for me, right? It's because I mean, like Canada is a lot more urbanized than the United States is. But would I, if I mean, I did a couple of tests that showed me where best for me to live in the United States, and strangely enough, the 4 of the top 8 were in Texas.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, a place called League Harbor in Texas was at the top of the list. League City, Texas. The other three were the other three in Texas were real suburbs of Dallas. There was one in Nevada, one in South Dakota. There was one in California called Half Moon Bay, which I've actually been to, and there was one in New York.
All right.
I've been to Half Moon Bay. It's actually not a bad. It's a small town. It's on the exurbs of San Francisco, but it's not. It's still in the. It's sort of in the Bay Area, but it's actually a very. It's kind of like what Banff would be to Calgary.
Oh,
You
okay.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, which is not a big surprise because Banff would be at the top of my list of places that I would live if I had the choice in Canada. Um, but anyway, getting back to this thing. So yeah, there was a lot of resistance to this, and again, right, just like what happened with Foreign Affairs when people started digging, an independent reporter started digging because it's like whenever this happens, the first thing that comes up with this is, and again, that video I posted up on my personal feed at Facebook says it all. One of the first things you got to do is follow the money. Always
Yep.
look at what's going on in terms of who is financially benefiting from Trudeau not closing or not tightening down the border. And the answer is, and this is not a reach at all, are, and by the way, the fact that it's only 8% of the total volume of fentanyl that's going into the United States doesn't change the fact that it is still going into the US, which is why I understand why Trump is doing what he was doing. And if you wanted to use that argument, then you could also use that same argument and they did try to use that argument on those Colombian criminals that took over that apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado. And literally on MSNBC, I think it was MSNBC, it was like, well, what's the big deal? It's just one apartment complex. It's like, that's not the point. The bottom line is that it happened, right? You know, bottom line is that it's still happening. And I mean, again, Trump is, let's just face facts. Trump is no fan of Justin Trudeau's, which is perfectly okay with me because I'm not a fan of Justin Trudeau either. I would love to see him go. Justin Trudeau has manipulated events. Apparently, if it wasn't for the alt media in Canada, I suspect he would have tried to use the tariffs as an excuse to try to declare an emergency so he could stay in power longer, which I suspect is one of the reasons why Trump backed off on it. On the tariffs, because I think he wants Trudeau gone, and if I was Trump, I couldn't really blame him. The whole situation here is that, so yeah, who benefits from Justin Trudeau not tightening down the border? Why, that would be the drug and human smugglers smuggling people across the Canada and the US border. So somebody did some more digging, and I didn't have, because I ran out of time because I was having to organize all of this stuff at the last minute. Somebody did some digging and he found out that, and this I wow, I'm not surprised. But again, like I've said this a few times on this show, and I'm going to say it again, the day that I'm not outraged or flabbergasted at stuff like this happening, where I'm just sort of like, meh, who cares, right? Is the day I move on to do something different. The Liberal Party, probably with a wink and a nod from the Prime Minister and probably from a few of the senior cabinet ministers in Trudeau's cabinet, are getting kickbacks from the Chinese to keep the border open. And when you start looking at it, it starts to make sense. They have not done anything, for instance, at the harbor in Vancouver or the one in Victoria or probably the one in New West to increase inspection of cargo coming from China into that harbor. That harbor is apparently really seriously Chinese, like almost totally controlled by the Chinese mafia, from what some people have been saying. Again, the provincial government hasn't been. This is part of the problem with Vancouver, and again, right, that fentanyl money is being laundered through Vancouver real estate, which is why the real estate prices in Vancouver are so fucking high, which is the reason why I cannot go back down there, because I simply, even with the kind of money that I'm making right now, I could not afford to live there. Not without a roommate. And fuck that, I'm not getting roommates. Like, fuck that. But even in cities like Edmonton and Calgary, and it's just, they're just looking the other way as the
Norca, you died on me? You went mute. Oh boy, here we go. My apologies, folks. You're gonna have to kind of fill in here a little bit until he gets his feet back in here.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
All
Okay.
right,
So,
cool.
yeah. So,
Thank-
yeah. So, I mean, so it's like the price of housing has been going up, 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 up. I mean, Vancouver is like ridiculously expensive to live. Like, I mean, say what you want to about Toronto and Montreal, and they're not building, and the taxes are structured in such a way that the cost of build, like literally with all of the open space they've got in Canada, the housing starts here are lower on a per capita basis than they are in Japan. Let that sink in. You kind of get to that point when it comes to this stuff where, it's like, are they getting kickbacks? Yeah, and apparently it's been discovered. I suspect that the intelligence agencies in the US probably already knew what was going on and have probably attempted to relay this message to CSIS. Oh, and by the way, the RCMP, which is arguably the most famous police force in the world, are also potentially implicated in this. Keep in mind, the city of Vancouver has its own police force. Like, there's not there is an as I know, because I spent a fair amount of time in Vancouver. In fact, I've graduated high school and came of age in Vancouver. There is RCMP in Burnaby, which is a suburb, but the city of Vancouver itself has got the city of Vancouver police. It's not there's a minimal RCMP presence in Vancouver, although there are RCMP that do operate inside the city. But I mean, yeah, you have no action at the local level. You have no action at the provincial level, and you won't be for another 4 or 5 years because, well, unless there's a non-confidence motion in Victoria, because it's an NDP government in BC right now, and you're not going to see any action at the national level until Trudeau's been removed. And again, right, this is not that much of a stretch, right? Like, who benefits from having the border open like that? Who benefits from not tightening down the border? Who benefits from dragging your ass in getting the assets on the border the way Trump requested that you do? That would be the drug smugglers, specifically the Chinese drug smugglers on the West Coast, and potentially some of the stuff coming up through the East Coast as well. And of course, that would not be allowed to occur unless someone was being paid off. And as we all know, the righteous, virtuous, completely moral and above board Liberal Party led by Justin Trudeau, oh no, they would never do anything like that. Yeah, they would. Yeah,
Never.
they would. So
Ever.
yeah. Apologies to any of my American listeners. I'm not surprised, but I am fucking outraged. And again, right, what Trump is doing in the US is bleeding over. Like, for instance, a lot of the gaming companies as well. This is something that I went to when I go back to USA, and then I'm going to turn it over to Rearson here. A lot of the gaming companies that were pulling all of that woke stuff, suddenly a lot of their funding seems to have dried up as well. Gee, I wonder who was giving them that money. Why, that was probably USA. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Rearson.
Well, I was already going on a bit of a tirade about this, like 1 to 2 weeks ago, or as it was. And when I say that Canadians seem to be nothing but the vast majority, seem to be nothing more than a bunch of trained fucking seals at a circus. You know, pushing their nose into the under the horn with the various different horns to make a melody. I'm not kidding. I mean, I'm going to bring my soon-to-be ex up, but she is so fucking trained. It's not funny, and I gotta get away from this crap. I suppose, in a sense, for myself, and I won't speak for anybody else here, or here, whoever else, but for me, at the end of the day, when COVID hit and you started to see how people were reacting, and most people were not reacting, not responding, but they were reacting to what was going on. It was a case of, I'm looking at this going, why? Like, do you not see what is in front of your eyes? But I guess you don't. So, I mean, this is part of the reason why I'm still in the red pill rage. Is I'm so pissed off with Canadians right now. It's not funny. I mean, I was on the C train. I intentionally bought some food, and some guy was going to say, "Put your mask on." I replied back to him, "I'm fucking eating." And if I was to have a little more balls to me, I would have just kind of said, "Do you hate Trudeau?" "Yeah." "Well, why you fucking listen to him at this point?" And it probably would have made I probably would have just shut him up right at that point. So it's again, again, when the Bloc Québécois, which is the quote federal provincial federal party to represent Quebec and Quebec only, when the B&Q leader has said directly when he spoke to Trump at, I guess it was the inauguration or whatever it was. I don't fucking remember when. What does he want? He wants to secure the border. He wants to deal with, things like fentanyl. Right? Right? Fucking there. That's all that needs to be done. That's it. That is it. And I have been listening in one form or another to my spouse, watching global news, CBC, or typically what she's going to watch. It's going to be global. It's going to be CBC, and it's the same fucking shit going on day in and day out, and it goes into her brain and it doesn't really leave. And I'm tired of this. Like I am beyond tired. I don't want to be with this woman anymore because she can't see the forest for the fucking trees. She didn't see it 4 years ago. She doesn't see it now. So this whole thing with fentanyl, going back to the Mexican drug cartels, which are being funded by the Chinese, which Trudeau has been on record to say he loves the basic dictatorship of China. And it's like it makes so much more sense now to where it didn't make sense 2 months ago, 3 months ago. So, and unlike enough Canadians that are screaming and bitching and moaning and complaining about Trump this and Trump that and US this and US that, he's been actually pretty upfront to say what he wants. It's just, I want you to stop the people that should be coming into the border, stop them, and stop bringing in substances that are going to be killing off my people because I don't want this crap. And it is so simple, it's not funny. And I can't say it any other way. Like, it has been laid out in front of us, and the idiots in the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area, are going to be happy overall, from the looks of things, to, I don't like Pierre Poilievre because he's going to be saying really bad things about Canada or this, that, the other thing. Well, yeah, he's going to be saying bad things because it has to be said. Okay, I don't like what is coming out right now, but it has to be. It has to be brought up. It has to be put into the mainstream collective consciousness. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be in freaking denial. And I don't, much like the games that are the games that modern women seem to play. I'm getting to the point of like, you know what? I don't have time for this shit. I don't have time for this crap. And I don't have time for this crap in terms of politics. I used to think that Canada was well above the level of corruption that we would expect of the Mexican government. But it turns out, guess what, folks? We're not. Trudeau is, oh God, there was that book way back when. You remember the book On the Take about Brown Mulroney, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Guess what? That's where Canada is right now. Canada is on the take. And there's no reason for this kind of crap. So anyone that I see that's going to be on Facebook screaming about Donald Trump this and Donald Trump that, it's like, oh, you idiot. You freaking moron. You don't see it because you don't want to see it. How can I say this? The only position that makes any sense to me is that I'm looking at the whole thing as like, yeah, I'm about 3 years ahead of the curve. 2 years at the minimum, but I'm 2 to 3 years ahead of most people at this point, and it's like, you know what? I'm just going to shut my fucking mouth and you're going to have to go through the awakening process, and it is going to be messy and it's going to be devastating. And you know what? I care, but I don't care that much anymore. So, and I've had the conversation with my mom about, well, who do you vote for? It's like, well, the system's broken. Well, yeah, I know the system is broken, but that's between her and I. I said, yes, you're absolutely right. It is broken. Well, how do we fix that? How do we fix this? It's like, well, I have to take a page from Kelso. It's like, well, you have to start talking. You have to start thinking about it. You have to put some actual energy into something that could actually improve or be more than what we don't already have, which doesn't work very well. I don't know. So, and it's amazing as well too is that we actually had all 13 premiers go down to Washington D.C. and Trump made no time for them, and I don't blame him because the only person he should be speaking to is Trudeau, and Trudeau is off in fucking Europe, wherever he is. Probably fucking around with a few boys. I'll leave that alone. But yeah, but I went there. I don't care. And it, the people that need to be there with the person in charge of the country who wasn't there is going to get lukewarm, mediocre results. So, and there was somebody else as well too that had said that the U.S. has given up on trying to fix things in Canada because, according to our legislation, we have to tell the person that's going to be spied upon, hey, guess what? We're going to be spying on you. So tell me how well that's going to work in terms of law enforcement. So, do I think that Canada needs to be annexed by the U.S. when it comes to that metric specifically? Ottawa's going to fix it within a timely manner, which could be what, 1-2 years. Yeah, just Donald, come on and just take over. Because again, Canada has no hard assets, has no gold reserves. The loonie is worthless. It's running on credit. I mean, I don't know how else I can say it besides that. And yeah, it's not positive. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm looking at things as being as honest as possible to say, yeah, the system is broken. But guess what? No one wants to listen to me. So Canadians are just a bunch of freaking morons. They really are. And if I get things south of the border, I'm gone and I'm not coming back because I don't reward bad, stupid behavior. How's that for you, my friend?
Tell us how you really feel.
Fuck Canada. Just fuck them. Oh, and the other thing as well, too, with this whole false sense of bravado, Canadian, we're Team Canada, blah, blah, blah. When Quebec was asked about this whole thing, the Quebec premier basically said, well, I don't think that there's much of a push in Quebec to do all of this kind of shit. Well, then you know what? You fucking get caught off at the fucking knees and the fucking balls, and your transfer payments just fucking dry up because you're not going to be part of Team Canada. Screw you. Fuck you all. Fuck the frogs. I'm just so sick of those bastards. It's not funny. At this point, Canada gets what Canada deserves. We are from the Alberta perspective, if Alberta was married to the rest of Canada, or Ottawa at least anyway, and you've got all of these in-laws, brothers, sisters, mothers, fucking or whatever Quebec will be, which will be the matriarch that wants to enforce everything according to her. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this would be a toxic marriage. This would be a toxic relationship, and Alberta would be told, "You need to get out." But because it's a national corporate entity, sorry, it's a regional business entity that has influence on the rest of the country, you can't leave, and the divorce process is going to be really, really, really fucking messy. It it boggles my goddamn fucking mind as to why we're still here. And it boggles my mind as to why enough Albertans, well, I don't like I don't like the way things are going, but should we be the 51st state? Well, I don't think so. It's like, you dumb fucks don't see the bigger goddamn fucking picture. I'm just. I got nothing more to say. This whole situation is difficult. It's very convoluted, and it's convoluted out of a strange sense of necessity. I don't know what else to say. So, whatever happens from this point going forward, if I have my way, I wish Canada the best, because I'm fucking bailing out, and I'm not sticking around to go through 10 years of Pierre Poilievre trying to fix things, and then maybe Liberals will get back in power and they're going to mess it back up to what it was before. I'm sick of this shit. I really am. So let's move on to number 7, please.
Okay. Oh, by the way, it was Isabella Maria De Luca. I'm actually going to save the photo of her cooking the cake, and you'll see what I mean.
She was the one that was bitching about her husband and the kids, right?
Yeah, hold on a second here. Let me just briefly post it up here before we get on to the next topic so everyone can see. Yeah, this was Cake Girl, folks.
I think I know who this is now. They should put a name to it.
Yeah, this was Cake Girl. This is the one who actually dragged Rolo. Hold on a second here. Let me just bring it up. I will post it up here very, very briefly for just a minute or so, and you'll see exactly what it is that they've been talking about, and you see why about the hypocrisy of conservative women. Okay, this is her baking a cake. The number of conservative men.
I don't see that.
There we go. All right, it's there. It is. Yeah. Look at what's front and center in that photo. What's right center in the frame.
I'm sure they're padded. Really, I'm sure they are not.
Oh, I'm sure they would be very nice to play with and everything. But yeah, she's baking a cake. It's somehow the cake's not the center of the frame. A certain part of her anatomy is, which she's quite. And by the way, who the hell bakes a cake in a skin tight fucking t-shirt?
Do your boobs hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? No standards, folks. No standards, and we don't care, because that's how we roll.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the last topic here. We will be removing Isabella Maria De Luca's boobs here in just a second. Sorry, guys.
She wasn't the one that was bitching about being walked around like a dog, was she?
No, that wasn't her.
Oh no, she was Slavic, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna actually, when I think she's got a nice rack too. By the way, I'll have to find a photo of her with her nice luscious rack. She's got a nice rack as well. But yeah, she made a statement on public television, and it was in me like literally the next day. Somebody, I can't remember specifically what it said, but basically she was like more or less suggesting that she was going to break the law. Tom Homan was on Fox the following day and was asked a very specific question about AOC, and he didn't say, "Yeah, we're referring her over to the Department of Justice for review." He said, "I'm just going to take it to the Attorney General. I'm going to let the Attorney General decide." Because I mean, I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a legal scholar, but in my opinion, I believe this qualifies as a violation of the law. But I'm going to let the Attorney General decide on it. So she has been referred over to the Attorney General and the Department of Justice for consideration of violating the law. Again, right? AOC. And here's the thing. I mean, this is how bad the Democrat Party has gotten. The Democrat Party has gotten so bad that AOC, yes, this woman here, is actually considered
That's what it was.
a serious contender for the Democrat to run against whoever the Republicans put up in 2028. Yeah, I'm serious. It's like, like everybody talks about Jesse. I mean, like, for instance, about how Jesse Helms was like literally unelectable from West Virginia when he was in power, when he was sitting in the Senate in West Virginia, and he was, because he was an absolute like demagogue, right? He was literally unelectable as a she was literally unelectable as a member of as a member of as a member of the Senate, right? Because he was just viewed as being too extreme. I'm going to point out something here. And he engaged in some stuff that he did some stuff like, I mean, like literally he put people literally in medical danger. Just to show you folks that I'm not like a quote unquote far right demagogue, right? Like, I personally could not stand Jesse Helms, right? And Jesse Helms was and he was a toxic human being. He would intimidate. Here, I'm going to post up a better. See that? Yeah, look at that. Those are definitely double D's. But continuing,
I won't
those,
say no.
those are D's or C's. What D's are double C, big C's, D's or double D's. One of the two, one of the three.
I am normally not up for titty fucking, but I would try that with her. Just saying.
Hey, hi there. Wait a minute. Congratulations, Galactic Fire T-shirts, on being the first person to actually to actually be the first person to actually comment in the chat.
Really?
Yep, I'm gonna actually say a response to him here.
Okay. And what was the comment?
It just said hello.
Oh, hello. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Grats, man. Grats.
On being the very first person to comment in the feed ever. That wasn't actually There we go. Galactic Fire T-shirts. Congratulations. Congratulations on being the very first person to ever comment on the feed. But anyway, getting back to the actual topic at hand. Yeah, Tom Homan was quite clear in this. It's like he said, well, I'm not a legal scholar, but this looks like it's a violation of the law. And it's like, yeah, he would be absolutely right. It would be a violation of the law. As it has been pointed out, the Democrats have been acting as though they're somehow untouchable. And they have been untouchable for the last 4 years, up to and including, by the way, when all of those Hamas protesters literally did the exact same thing that the J6 protesters did and stormed the Capitol building with no consequences on them legally, at least until Trump became the president. And then, of course, it's like a lot of them started getting shipped back. By the way, have you noticed that the Hamas protests, except of course, in blue cities, in blue states, all of the Hamas protesters have just disappeared. You see Mexico, you'll see anti-ICE protests, which, by the way, if they get too rambunctious now, even in blue cities and blue states, they'll get their asses arrested, which is exactly what happened in New York City. But I mean, it's becoming very clear that, I mean, like, Congress people like AOC and whatever have been acting as though they're pretty much untouchable for the last few years. And, you know, and they have been, because Biden wasn't going to do anything to them, right? And that's changing. And again, right, I think Trump is well, I mean, I don't think Trump has figured out. It's very clear that Trump has figured out that it's like he can't just sort of like pull a lever here and quietly pull a lever over here and just try to work with the opposition, because that's clearly not what's happening here. What is happening here is that you have people like AOC freaking out and defending criminal activity. Just like on the last one, we were talking about how Trudeau's been dragging his ass securing the border. And of course, who that benefits, and you follow the money. And it's like, oh, yeah, well, of course it would be the Liberal Party that would be getting kickbacks from the Chinese to keep the borders open, right? Like, that makes perfect sense once you look at it. Same thing here. And I've heard this a few times being mentioned. If people are defending criminal activity, who benefits? The criminals. So the people who are doing the defending are benefiting from the criminal activity, which means that they are going to be subject to investigation and arrest. And some of these people have gotten so soft and so used to having their own way, especially, I got to point out, like, since 2000, in the last 20 years, there has been one Republican term in office, and that was Donald Trump from 2016 to 2020. And that was it. The Democrats have had their way and have been running the show for literally, 80% of the time in the last, except for one term. They've been running the show pretty much almost unstopped for the last 20 years, since George Bush stepped out of. Well, no, George Bush won in 2004. Okay, so it's 60% of the time. 60% of the time. Sorry, because Bush Jr. held power from 2004 to 2008. So basically, but since 2008 to 2024, there has been one Republican president. And ironically enough, and this is something that people keep forgetting about Donald Trump. Donald Trump used to be, and Elon Musk, and Robert F. Kennedy was a lifelong Democrat. Tulsi Gabbard was a lifelong Democrat. I mean, like, there's a lot of people in Trump's cabinet that are disaffected Democrats. And, you know, when you're getting into this, it's like, you know, what can I say except that, you know, this is, you know, what you've got are crooks defending crooks. So, I mean, if AOC is going to bat to defend people sheltering illegal immigrants, then she must be getting, and same thing with all of these NGOs and whatever, she must be getting some type of a kickback from it. And yeah, this is crooks defending crooks, and I suspect they're going after AOC because AOC Well, first of all, AOC did it to herself. She made herself a target. But I mean, I mean, Ilhan Omar has also done stuff like this. I mean, you're
with
seeing
the
a
with the brother. Anyway,
you're seeing a lot of leftist grandstanding on this, and it's like, again, why would they be doing that? Because they're, again, right? I hate being, and a lot of people get really annoyed when I say this, because I literally said earlier in the show that money is not the end all be all, and it's not. But at the same time, right, there are some benefits to having a lot of money, and you follow the money. And it's very clear that if you're knowingly defending criminal activity, then you yourself are either benefiting or you're indirectly benefiting, which makes you a criminal too. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Rearson.
well, I had to get myself reacquainted with the allegations at the time of AOC and her what would be fundraising irregularities. And the ChatGPT AI search, whatever you want to call it, came up to basically say, well, there's nothing wrong, but there are some things that are questionable. Well, I'm pretty sure at this point now it's going to go well past being questionable to what the fuck is this? You were supposed to do this. These are the limits of what you can or cannot do. And no, like you can't do this kind of crap. I mean, RFK was pretty damn good to no, not RFK. Was it RFK? No, Cash Patel, I think it was. Called out Bernie Sanders for $1.9 million of a donation, and it wasn't the average individual. It was big pharma that basically paid him off, and Sanders just kind of duh, but it's special with me. That kind of fucking retarded attitude that he seems to have because he is a retard. But we'll leave that alone. So AOC is a symptom of a much bigger and deeper problem that is going on, not just in the US, but within uh, first world countries, shall we say Western democracies. And I know within Japan, their system is also pretty corrupt as well too. So things are going to work out in the end. The yeah, it will all get washed out in the end, and we'll see for what it is. And I don't know, just she was quote a bartender for being part of a average American family, and yet she seems to wear really expensive clothes, kind of like Maserati marks. I mean, Jagmeet Singh for having a Maserati that he was getting his dry cleaning taken out of, and he never acknowledged the ownership of the vehicle. And he didn't say very much about who owns it. And from what I understand as well too, and I think that this applies very easily to AOC, but with Jagmeet Singh, is that you have to have this materialistic look to you. Otherwise, your friends are going to be riding your ass. So he has to put that front up in terms of the working for the common man, shall we say? When he's the very least, he's the smallest thing that is even remotely close to being part of the common, being part of the middle class, which is what the NDP is supposed to represent, which is no different than what AOC is supposed to represent, also in theory. Holy shit, we're up to 12. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. So, AOC to me is as freaking crooked as a, a reverse spirit level to seeing how much of an even keel something is going to be when you cut it and you put it on a wall. You know, you mount it. Well, you mount it better than Jeffrey Epstein can't mount himself because, you know, he hung himself, so we'll leave that alone. So it's, I don't know. I've heard enough conspiracy theories that AOC is part of the reason to bring down the deep state. But I don't know anymore with her. I really don't. So, again, my opinion is that she's a Latina that needs to be on her knees with a mouth full of cack Richards. And because that's really all that she's good for. I mean, she strikes me as being of average intelligence at best. And if she has more than, you know, 3 functional brain cells that are working really hard against each other, she might come up with an actual individual thought, but I don't think she is. I don't think she's capable of that kind of crap. So if there's something that is going on that Tom Homan and whomever else has the dirt on her, I hope and I pray that they have it and they can bear this fucking woman, because the sooner she's out of Congress or the Senate, whatever she is, the better. So that's all I have to say. Norkin, back to you.
Yep, I think that concludes the Red Pill Nation hangout for tonight. We're up to 9 again. Wow. It's nice to have people on the show. I want to just send one more message out. Yep, you busted the cherry Galactic Fire t-shirts. Congratulations. I mean, we've had Roger comment on it. The only problem is Roger was actually also a guest on the show, so he doesn't count. But yeah, you busted the cherry, man. It's like, if this show goes really big, if we're one of those people with like 40 million subs or whatever, you have that feather in your cap as being the very first person that wasn't actually host of the show to have commented on the Red Pill Nation Hangout live stream while it was on Rumble. So congratulations. Yep, that's right. Yep, congratulations. Feather in your cap. So anyway, but that does conclude the show tonight. So yeah, we're gonna be pulling the plug on you Galactic Fire t-shirts. You can go and have yay to that one as well. Yeah, we have no standards here, Galactic Fire t-shirts, just so that you know. Maybe that's your thing. If you have no standards, well, just come on back. I'm gonna try to pick a regular day. Sunday is the regular day for the Red Pill Nation Hangout. Feel free to drop in anytime. We'll be a certain.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. We would like to get your input on the Red Pill Nation Hangout logos as well. So hopefully it won't be too much for you to look at. We're more partial to the first one that came up, but we'll appreciate any feedback.
Yeah, I will be posting those up for a while. I might even put some more AI stuff out here for a while. But that is it for the show tonight. We are just under 3 hours. Just giving you all a heads up. The Naroki 5 live stream. And I will probably I might even be doing 2 shows tomorrow. I guess I got to do the memes show before I go out as well, because that was the one where I forgot to turn on the goddamn microphone. I was recording the show. An absolute mark of genius on that one, I might point out. But yeah, the next Red Pill Nation Hangout is, of course, going to be Sunday at the same time. I will be in camp. Hopefully, we won't have a light sleeper in the room next door, so I'll be able to talk my ass off.
Hopefully.
But that is it for tonight. Thank you very much for listening. And I wish you all a good week. And I will see you all again on Sunday. Yeah, whoever drop in number 8 is, yeah, you're too late. We're stopping the show. Yeah, you're too late. We're gonna be really evil. We're gonna end the show now.
You're as subtle as a fucking sack of ball peen.
Yep, you can feel respectfully spited right now. Yeah.
Good night.
All right. Have a good night.